The rainy night at the heir's residence was gloomy and terrifying. Thunder and lightning crashed violently against the roof, and the only sound was the dripping of the rain. Inside, a frail, sickly young woman was resting in bed, the weather outside as desolate as her situation. Coughing incessantly, Zhao Yuanqing, the legitimate daughter of the Zhao family and wife of the heir of Marquis Jin Yuan, looked helplessly at the blood-stained handkerchief. Was this where fate ended? Oh my, is my dear sister still ill? She looked uncomfortably toward the source of the voice. Anyone visiting her at this hour could not possibly have good intentions. Her younger sister, Zhao Salon, now an imperial concubine in the palace, wore a vibrant red robe, visiting her sister under the guise of checking on her health. Her smile was brilliant, the heavy hairpins on her head jingling, and a retinue of guards followed behind her. It was less a sick visit and more a display of power. Look at your sickly appearance. I'm afraid you won't live much longer, will you? She immediately hid the handkerchief behind her back. Though they were sisters, their relationship was more distant than that of strangers. There was no need for pleasantries. An honored guest has arrived. To what do I owe the pleasure of concubine Zhao's visit to my humble abode? Thank you for your concern, sister. It's just a pity that the one who was supposed to enter the palace as a concubine and enjoy endless glory and wealth was you. She lifted her sister's chin, her tone filled with mockery and contempt. The legitimate daughter doesn't have the fate of an illegitimate one. All the good fortune in your life has been given to me, your younger sister. It's a shame you had that accident. So I, the illegitimate daughter, had to take your place in the palace and become the emperor's concubine. I find it filthy. I don't need your hypocrisy. She thought of the scumbag husband who had made her life a waste. That year, she had slipped and fallen into the water and was rescued by Su Suchin. For a woman to be held by a strange man in public, her reputation was ruined. She could no longer enter the palace as a concubine and had no choice but to marry Su Suchin. The two married quickly, and although she reluctantly accepted the relationship, she had never truly loved him. She thought he would treat her with devotion out of marital affection, but he did not. He made her live like a widow, while he himself caroused with prostitutes outside, leaving her to waste away from her prime until she was terminally ill beyond cure. She never expected Su Suchin to be such a libertine, chasing after other women even with a wife. Now that she was gravely ill, he paid her no mind, leaving her to fend for herself. Marrying the wrong person had ruined her entire life. Despite her weak body, her hatred for that scum of a husband had never ceased. Your Highness, if you have no other business, please leave. I just want to rest in peace and not have to see my venomous, black-hearted sister. Don't be sad, sister. I brought you a gift today. She didn't genuinely care about my condition, yet she feigned kindness by bringing a gift. She extended her hand, signaling a guard to bring over a carefully wrapped black box. The head of a close relative rolled out, and she lost control of her emotions. This cruel and vicious sister was kicking her while she was down, even taking her family's lives to threaten her. You're too sick to attend the old general's funeral, so I specially brought his head to you. Aren't you happy? To treat human life as a joke. The only thing more terrifying than hell is the human heart. Tears streamed down her face, and she couldn't speak, feeling only disgust at her sister's actions. Grandfather always doted on me the most. He was so gentle to me. How could this happen? We were so close when he was alive. Grandfather will always be your strongest backer. No one would dare bully you. But now, she had ruthlessly killed her own grandfather, offering him as a sacrifice to her sister, using a human life as a tool to trample on others, and still believe herself to be righteous. It's all that old man's fault for being too biased. Why was it only you who could enter the palace? I begged him so many times, but he always refused on the grounds that I lacked virtue. Isn't it just because I was born of a concubine? Sisterly affection had long been shattered in the face of the opportunity to become an imperial concubine. Now, one sister was on her deathbed, while the other enjoyed a lifetime of glory and wealth. She sneered at her sister, entered the palace to bewitch the emperor's heart, then used his favor to clip the wings of your maternal family. Ha. But in the end, the one who entered the palace was me, the illegitimate daughter. I just hinted to the emperor that the old general had treasonous intentions. And what was the result? The emperor even praised me for placing righteousness above family and immediately ordered his execution. I truly married a good husband. She didn't want to hear another word from this venomous woman. Zhao Sulan, I'll kill you. With her current strength, she couldn't even get out of bed, let alone threaten a member of the imperial family. Kill me? You're still so naive. Since I'm here, I might as well tell you everything. Telling these sins to a dying person is the same as burying them in the grave together, so there's no loss. Did you think falling into the water that time was an accident? Your good sister, Fu Luoli, was afraid you'd enter the palace and compete with her for favor, so she conspired with me to push you into the water and stop you from entering the palace. Why must women make things difficult for other women? Only on her deathbed did she see the true colors of a sister by her side. So it was all you're doing. You've already heard it. Why ask again? Consider me granting you a few answers. It was me. I just wanted to see you, the doted-on legitimate daughter, fall into hell, including your family. She took a piece of paper from her sleeve, calling it a farewell gift that I'll give you one last gift. Not only did her sister plot to push her to her death, but even the husband who shared her bed regarded her as something to be cast aside. The heir's wife has had an affair with another man and was unchaste. The heir himself told me that from this day forward, he officially divorces his wife, and they shall have nothing more to do with each other. Watching the pieces of paper fall upon her heart like raindrops, she lost everything in an instant. Ignoring her sister's weak state, Sulan ordered her to be thrown out. Throw her out. Looking back on her life, it was utterly laughable. The people closest to her were the ones who had plotted against her the most. A moment of carelessness had pushed her into such a tragic situation that I was so naive and foolish, only seeing Sulan's true colors at the very end. She was always jealous of my status as the legitimate daughter and was full of malice toward me. Her past days were meaningless. Her sister had manipulated her like a doll, and she had been completely unaware of the person's ambition. She schemed meticulously, planning every step just to snatch my position as concubine, and I was kept in the dark the whole time, causing my entire family to suffer. The rain that day seemed to weep for this young woman, framed by her own sister. The cold rain soaked her skin as she was roughly thrown out by the guards. Yuanqing lay on the ground, her eyes filled with hatred, cursing her enemies. Heaven has eyes. Retribution will come. If I die here today, I will surely turn into a vengeful ghost. A clap of thunder exploded above her head, as if the heavens were recording the deep-seated curse of this woman who had lost everything because of her own sister. I will drink your blood, gnaw your flesh, and haunt you, so that you will never know a day of peace. Her final words carried all her grievances and hatred, whether she went to the underworld or the heavens above. She would never rest. As soon as the words left her mouth, she chose to kill herself by smashing her head. The broken fragments of my heart are all imprinted with the faces of those I hate to the bone, like scars branded on my soul, to be settled only in death. Sister, news came from the border. Brother has gone missing, and it's likely he's met with misfortune. Sister, mother has taken her own life. If she had just begged me once, I wouldn't have been so ruthless to play with human lives and still have the mind to think of how to oppress others. Even if you close your eyes and follow King Yama, this face will not fade. I must remember it and take revenge in the next life. Even the words she incited the emperor to say were so hateful. Sister, the emperor has ordered the general's residence to be searched and the entire family to be executed. One sister, another sister. Not a single word truly conveyed the meaning of the term, every sentence dripping with mockery. My ears don't want to hear this filth. Zhao Sulan, you destroyed my family. I will kill you. I will have my revenge. The young woman's eyes opened on a soft bed, not at the gates of the underworld. Mississippi, hearing her maid's call, she suddenly felt strange. Sanyang? Why is my maid here? Her memories were a jumble. Didn't Sanyang already die? Then you should check the specific date and time, lest you get it mixed up with another timeline. What year is it? What month? Miss, it is the 16th year of Jiaqing. It's the 16th year, so I've been reborn. My body is still healthy, free of illness, and my skin is as beautiful as it was in my youth. Seeing her mistress half awake, Sanyang helped her up and asked with concern, Miss, why do you look so pale? Did you have a nightmare? No, I must seize this chance at rebirth. It's not easy to return to one's own body. I will enact justice on behalf of heaven and issue a death sentence to my enemies. Although I don't know how it happened, if the heavens have given me a second life. That naive and innocent look can be damned. This queen must put on a sharp pair of lenses to fully embody the style of living for revenge. I must cherish this opportunity, protect my loved ones, and never repeat the same mistakes. Yuanqing, you're awake. A hypocritical friend peeked her head in from the door, asking her to go out and play. Yuanqing, the peach blossoms in the backyard of Guojian Temple are in full bloom. Let's go see them together. The first prey has delivered herself to my door. I must find a way to send her to the chopping block and mince her until nothing is left. My good sister, Fu Luoli, just because she was afraid I'd enter the palace and compete with her for favor, she conspired with Zhao Yuanqing to push me into the water. In this life, I will never marry that playboy Su Suching. She sized her up from head to toe with a scrutinizing gaze, her eyes filled with nothing but disgust. All right, I'll play along with her act of sisterly affection. After all, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. See the peach blossoms? Sure, I love looking at flowers. You want to play mind games with me? Then I'll turn your own trick against you and sever these tangled threads. As soon as she stepped out the door, she saw her dear little sister approaching. Second sister, Miss Fu, where are you going? To the back mountain to see the peach blossoms, plus a prey sitting in the shopping cart. This queen is about to put on a good show. According to the plan, this little one will surely want to go too. Sister, can I go with you? Of course you can, my good sister. Before we go, let this queen check if your heart rate has any abnormal fluctuations. I'll test her with a few scary words first. Looking closely, your eyes are really beautiful. Can I dig them out? The way to say scary things is to make a cute face while saying horrifying words. The little sister was terrified. Her mental fortitude was too poor to handle such scenes, and oh, how could she say something like that? Not yet. The good show is just beginning. This queen must play the part to the fullest. And this skin, her hand gently caressed every pore, as if calculating how to deal with this thick face. To do it justice, not bad. Should I make fried pork rinds or a cold salad? That way I can satisfy your request. Such smooth skin would probably look good draped over me. A few words were enough to scare her out of her wits. Second sister. She's like a bicycle wheel, too young and not skilled enough to compete with this queen that it was just a few jokes. Why are you so timid? This opening was shocking enough. The real show is for later. Didn't you say we were going to the back mountain? Let's go. Zhao Yuanqing, in this life, I'll play with you slowly. Don't worry, I'll make sure you'll beg for life, but be denied, and beg for death, but be denied. The murderous aura of a master descended to the mortal world made the two young girls tremble. Today, Zhao Yuanqing was a little different. After standing for a moment, she steadied her nerves, still determined to harm others to the end. Don't panic. Let's calmly proceed with the plan. The blooming peach blossom forest blotted out the sky, its sweet pink color enough to intoxicate anyone who came here. Her good sister was now fawning over her, chattering incessantly as if she hadn't been out of a cage for days, insisting on pulling her to the lakeside under the trees. Sister, isn't it beautiful here? But once we enter the palace, we won't be as free as we are now. Girl, the goal is about to be achieved. As long as you don't stop talking, everything will go smoothly. If I had known, I would have had my mother arrange a marriage for me earlier. I really don't want to enter the palace. Not so easy. This queen has already memorized the script, and acting according to it won't go wrong. You don't want to enter the palace. You want to marry someone else? Oh no, I have to pretend to answer perfunctorily. Yes. Your wish has been noted, and you will surely get it. Now, let me help you fulfill your wish. Go play with the fish in the water and see who's smarter than a goldfish. You're still too green to play tricks on this queen. Fu Luoli was tricked and ended up cooling off with the fish, but she couldn't swim and was frantically waving her arms, screaming for help. The girls just stood there, watching the performance of the mermaid emerging from the water. Last time she choked on water, but this time she wouldn't repeat the same mistake. Although Su Suching saved her after she fell in the water in her last life, and the crisis has been averted this time, one can't be subjective. The classy sister was more concerned about her friend, so she jumped in like a knight in shining armor. I'm coming to save you. Wait, I haven't finished enjoying the show. You dare. You can't do anything without my permission. This good deed is not for you to interfere with, only because a hero was already saving the damsel. Confident that everything was going smoothly, she pushed her little sister aside to keep her out of the way. This was just the beginning. Who knew who would be tricked in the end? She smiled smugly, watching the lovebirds put on a good show. Just as I expected, Su Suching is playing the hero, saving the damsel again. Seeing her plan exposed, Zhao Yuanqing's face turned pale with fear. It's over. The plan failed. If you play with fire, you get burnt. What's there to cry about? The scumbag heir pulled the girl up, only to be greatly disappointed when he realized she wasn't the girl he had been longing for. Huh? You're not. Are you trying to be a substitute for his white moonlight, or what? He avoided this body. She was not Zhao Yuanqing. At least this girl was scared to death, afraid of becoming a disheveled water ghost. So she threw her arms around the scumbags. I mean his shoulders and neck. Save me. Don't leave me. Sister, your plan was set, but now you're acting alone. How am I supposed to keep up? What happened? A woman with a dignified and noble temperament appeared with 2 servants, presumably having heard the commotion and come to see what was happening. She had forgotten the oranges, and the witness Zhao Sulan had painstakingly arranged. Birds of a feather flocked together, catching a whole net of bitches. Fine, I'll play this scene to the end. This is my home turf, bitches. My Oscar-worthy performance is about to begin. Sulan knew the situation was lost, but still wanted to salvage it. Sister, why did you push Luoli? You're so cruel, she said shamelessly. I'm in control of the script. Don't even think about bluffing your way through to there's still a chance. I must pin this stain on Zhao Yuanqing to stop her from entering the palace. You like to act, right? Then I'll act with you. To deal with a green tea bitch, you have to be even more of a green tea bitch. She slapped her little sister's pretty face hard. The little girl was powerless to fight back and started wailing, "You hit me." She decided to play the good sister card, protect her friend, pin the blame on her sister, and then beat her up again. Third sister, you've gone too far. Even if you hate Luoli, you shouldn't be so cruel. The spring water is still cold. If Luoli catches a cold, I won't forgive you. She had met her match and was speechless. You? The little girl's gaze shifted in another direction. Princess Jing sat quietly, not wanting to speak to them at all. Zhao Yuanqing trying to turn the tables on me? People will believe what they see. If someone doesn't have evidence yet, and the matter is so clear, no matter how they deny it, they can't win that I didn't. Then take another slap for being nosy. Third sister, do you think I don't know your little tricks? Slapping an enemy twice in a row felt so good. Rattled by her sister's actions, the little girl was terrified, suspecting her sister was an inside agent in a secret group who could see messages and knew her plan inside out. Could it be that Zhao Yuanqing knows that Fu Luoli and I conspired to frame her? How is that possible? Meanwhile, Su Suching had already helped the girl ashore, both of them soaked to the bone like drowned rats. The princess gravely questioned every witness present. How did this happen so suddenly? Her gaze glared at the hypocritical bitch, as if to say, "You did it, didn't you?" She froze under that sharp gaze. It wasn't me. It was second sister. Your Highness, please believe me. Unfortunately, there was no lawyer here to defend her, so those words were no different from defending a crime she had just committed. She pushed the little girl away, not wanting to touch something so annoying and argumentative. You're still arguing at a time like this. Fear enveloped her. No one would believe Zhao Sulan's words. It was all over. Zhao Yuanqing had already made her move and won Princess Jing's favor. Anything I say now is just a pale excuse. She ignored the venomous girl and only cared for the framed daughter. Take Fu Luoli to rest first. Be careful she doesn't catch a cold. Heir, you should also go change your clothes. No one dared to say no to this powerful woman's command. Yes. The princess's departing figure left the 2 sisters to deal with it themselves. The younger sister glared at her viciously, her eyes almost popping out. Second sister is truly a good schemer. One person's pain is another's pleasure. I'm just enjoying the fruits of others' labor. How can I compare to my sister's cunning methods? Humiliated into silence, she stormed off with a flick of her sleeve, leaving me in peace. For you, everything is real. I don't understand how I came back to the past. After shooing those 2 away, a cool breeze blew through the girl's soft hair. The beginning was smooth, so there shouldn't be any problems later. Since the purpose of this rebirth is to eradicate the problem by the roots, this cool breeze must continue, uninterrupted by toxic fumes. If I could have done this from the beginning, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Her hand gently touched a pebble by the lake. This is the evidence left by those 2 clownfish. It's moss as expected. They planned this long ago. She wiped away the traces with her handkerchief without hesitation. The back mountain of Guojian Temple is crowded with visitors. If someone were to accidentally fall into my trap, I would also be partly responsible. After cleaning for a while, the lakeside was spotless. The responsible person finished her task, and it was time to go home and have dinner with her mother. In the distance were the figures of two tall, handsome men carrying large and small bags. One was dressed in a black robe embroidered with gold thread, his long hair cascading over both sides of his shoulders, and his eyes were blood red, like fresh blood. He was Zhuang Li, the director of the Eastern Depot. The attraction was so strong, it made her pause for a moment. That was Director Zhuang Li, known for his ruthlessness and immense power in the court. Greetings, Director Zhuang. She maintained a respectful attitude toward this high-ranking official. There was no benefit in joking with him. This man controlled the 24 directorates in the palace, his power rivaling that of Emperor Mingyan. This man's mind was extremely deep. She must not get involved with him. But I have no interest in him, and we probably won't have much deep interaction. I'm beautiful, but my taste isn't that broad. Not just any man will catch my eye, if it isn't the second young miss of the Zhao family. Interesting, saying something so easily misunderstood right after meeting. This guy's mouth is sweeter than sugar. She didn't want to flirt with this terrifying man, so she made an excuse to leave. The gardens of Guojian Temple are breathtakingly beautiful. I won't disturb Director Zhuang's flower viewing. Let him go on. How could I make things difficult for you? But his gaze still followed the girl's departing figure. After she had walked far away, the secret guard Chen-Mo was surprised to see his master flirting with a girl for the first time. Has master taken a liking to the second young miss of the Zhao family? Feelings can be hidden, but the eyes don't lie. The words, "I love you," were practically written on your face. A smile as gentle as a spring breeze flashed by. His heart was already three-quarters smitten with this cool and sassy girl. A disciple of the Zhuang family spoke, stating that the eldest miss of the Zhao family, Zhao Yuanqing, was disrespectful. To frame her sister, she didn't hesitate to harm others, pushing someone into the water and then blaming it on her own half-sister. With such inferior character, this subordinate truly does not understand. After all these years, I still don't understand the human heart. Kindness only invites disaster. It's better to be ruthless. Life is more interesting that way. Give them a taste of their own medicine, understand? Seeing that blank look on your face, I know you're clueless about the ways of the world. A brain is a good thing. You should teach that little brother of yours that if he doesn't know how to use his brain flexibly, he might as well leave it at home. Carrying it on his head like that will only make people laugh. Getting scolded by a superior and not even daring to talk back. However, I am somewhat interested in this young lady. I know she comes from a prestigious family and has likely already caught that person's eye. Is she the one selected for the palace? Yes. Your subordinate is in awe of you, master. To dare to speak his majesty's name directly in all the world, only you would dare to address his majesty in such a way. By the way, master, your subordinate must remind you, if the eldest miss, Yuanqing, enters the palace, the Zhao family will be able to consolidate their power. Master, if Zhao Yuanqing enters the palace as a consort, I'm afraid the Zhao family will be pulled to the emperor's side. Our influence will be suppressed. Should we interfere? That's underestimating my authority. My ways are perverse. I can take a life in an instant, and even the Son of Heaven dares not do anything to me. So, currying favor and building power is meaningless in my eyes. There's no need. You are dismissed. Meanwhile, at the Zhao residence, the incident of the young lady falling into the water caused an uproar in the household. The old madam of the Zhao family reassured everyone, saying, "Fu Luoli is fine. She just caught a bit of a chill." This old matriarch reminded her daughter-in-law, "You should be more concerned about Luoli's affairs. We are in the wrong this time." Yuanqing knew. Grandmother, there is no need to worry. She was deferential to her elder, playing the role of a well-behaved and filial granddaughter. Grandmother. As soon as the words were spoken, a related person came running over, out of breath. The old madam was displeased with this granddaughter-in-law's disrespectful attitude, so she ordered her to be punished and to bring the third miss back to the residence. The third miss, being filial, volunteered to go to the ancestral hall to offer incense to the ancestors for a period of 1 month. If others curse me, I will curse them back. But if a respected elder in the family scolds you, you must never talk back. You must obey meekly, understand? After all the dust had settled, she closed her doors to visitors. Her maid, Xiao Hong, felt it was unfair to her mistress. Miss, once Fu Luoli wakes up, everything will come to light. A concubine's daughter is still a concubine's daughter, no match for the daughter of the main wife. So even if she has Zhao family blood, all the grievances will fall on her. Even if her name could be cleared, grandmother would not make a big deal out of such a small matter and affect the family's reputation. In this game, I'm a loser after all. Ever since Emperor Mingyan ascended the throne, I have been constrained by Zhuang Li at every turn. This election is a good opportunity for the emperor to expand his power, and choosing a lady from the Zhao family to enter the palace is the most important move. It's a pity she can't be the empress, only a stepping stone for others. When a master is sad, the servant is also upset. Miss, what should we do? Though so humiliated, she wanted to crawl into a hole. She had not extinguished her determination to stop her sister from entering the palace. She must engage in a life-or-death battle with her own sister. Unless I get rid of that sister, I will never have a day of peace. But until the last moment, it's unknown who will win or lose. Today's humiliation, I will surely repay it twofold. Repay it twofold. Luoli's blue eyes slowly opened. You're awake. Bitch, I will be by your side forever, haunting you for all eternity. There's nowhere to run. Zhao Yuanqing, you dare to push me, shouting as soon as you wake up. It seems you're quite robust, not sick at all. What are you talking about? Shouldn't you be grateful to me? Did you wake up and forget the favor I bestowed upon you? That's right. Not only did I push you into the water, but I also helped arrange a marriage for you. Didn't you want to enter the palace? I was carrying out justice on behalf of heaven, giving you a pass to avoid entering the palace. Congratulations, your wish has been granted. What marriage? She asked, bewildered. Did I miss something while I was dreaming? The wife of the heir of Marquis Qing Yuan's estate. This status doesn't shortchange you, does it? You speak of a lifelong commitment so lightly. My friend is already married, burdened with a scumbag husband. And here I am, a girl who has never been in love, facing such an inescapable marriage. How could she not be angry? Zhao Yuanqing, why are you so cruel? It was unclear if she was talking about herself or someone else, only that she was using her to bear a lifetime burden, because I wanted my good sister to get her wish. How is that cruel? She was rendered speechless by her sharp words. The girl was at a loss for words. Miss, the medicine is here. Someone is about to interrupt, so I'll make it quick. Remember, since there was skin-to-skin contact, and it was witnessed by everyone, this matter is settled. Fu Luoli, you'd better remember, the one who pushed you was not me, but Zhao Sulan. This look was a stern warning, reminding her that even if she told, no one would believe a sick person's ravings. Finally, she spoke in a gentle, sisterly tone. Fu Luoli, think about it carefully. Although the Marquis Qing Yuan's estate is not what it used to be, it's not bad, and that heir is both talented and handsome. It's not a bad match. Since you put it that way, how can I not listen? I really have to thank you, Zhao Yuanqing. There was no benefit in confronting this legitimate daughter of a prestigious family in her current sickly state. The Zhao family was powerful, and she wouldn't gain anything from a direct conflict. It was better to maintain a superficial relationship with Zhao Yuanqing. She might be useful in the future. We're good sisters, no need to be so polite. You rest and recover well. I'm going back to pack my things. Goodbye, and may we never meet again. I'm going to recuperate in peace. With these vipers dealt with, time passed, and the next day arrived. Green leaves and pear blossoms gently shaded the sky, guiding the young lady on her way home below. I'm finally back at the residence. The sky is so clear today. Looking at the familiar plaque, my heart surged with emotion. A brown-haired old woman approached, her voice echoing as if from a great distance, saying she had gone to Guanyin Temple for some peace and quiet, yet so much had happened. Hearing her loved one's voice, tears welled up from the bottom of her heart. Mother. Her mother was the matriarch of the Zhao family. The mother and daughter looked exactly alike, possessing both a delicate charm and the heroic spirit of a general's descendant. Seeing her tear-filled eyes, she was heartbroken. What's wrong? Who bullied you? Tell Mother, and Mother will get justice for you. What's wrong? Don't cry, Mother is here. It was not easy to be held in her mother's warm embrace. The two embraced and wept, as if reunited after a long separation. Mother is still alive. I can finally hold her. This happiness is the most wonderful thing in the world. She held her mother tightly, making her worry that her daughter had encountered something terrible at the temple. What happened at Guanyin Temple? What grievances did you suffer, my darling? At this moment, the maid's son and I dared to explain everything to the matriarch. Zhao Sulan and Fu Luoli conspired to frame the young Mississippi. The sun cast a golden glow on the roof. Hearing that her precious daughter had been wronged, she could no longer maintain her dignified facade. This is simply outrageous. Fearing her mother would flip the house over in her anger, she held her hand and comforted her. Mother, I'm fine. I just felt a little sorry for you, so I cried a bit. I'm fine now. I didn't lose out all, right? Even so, I can't let them off easily. Coming from a general's family, she never paid anyone any mind. Dare to touch a single finger of my family, and you'll lose a hand, no questions asked. Zhao Salon is in the residence, so we'll leave her for now. But what about the Fu family? Should I ruin the marriage between Fu Luoli and the Marquis Qing Yuan's estate? Seeing her mother was too agitated, she chose to soothe her with soft words. This marriage is unwilling on both sides. It's a forced marriage, not a good thing. Actually, I've already planned everything. I will definitely not let things go so smoothly. That Shu Suqing is a terrible husband. Fu Luoli will have plenty to suffer in the future. Everything you want, I will grant. Then I'll add more fuel to the fire and make this marriage happen. Her mother said, "That's exactly what I was thinking. We truly think alike. Now that my good sister's matter is settled, it's time to deal with that rogue emperor." In this way, the drowning incident was completely changed, but I will have to enter the palace as a consort. Although in my past life, it was Zhao Sulan who caused all the trouble, the one who attacked my family was Emperor Mingyan. The flames of hatred burned in her memory. This rewritten history must erase the name of this emperor. Her gaze drifted to the distance, a cool breeze blowing through her hair, and a new plan began to form. I will never marry a tyrant like that. But right now, the only person who can help me is Zhuang Li, that handsome Lord Commander, with a gaze as hot as fire and pupils as red as blood, who craves the pinnacle of power and possesses a beauty that could topple nations. A man with money, talent, and a face that could mesmerize the masses is her perfect target. The Zhuang residence was not shabby at all. On the contrary, it looked incredibly luxurious and grand, with a magnificent gate and guards patrolling 24 hours a day. Stopping in front of the clean, sand-free courtyard was the elegant young lady of the Zhao family. She clutched a pink gift box, her gaze fixed on the main gate as she slowly walked in. Although she wanted nothing to do with him, only Zhuang Li could counterbalance the emperor's power. She approached the guards of the residence and handed over the gift box. "These are some pastries I made. Please pass them to Lord Zhuang." A young lady actually coming to visit their ice-cold master. The guard was caught off guard as he reached out to take the gift. The prime minister's daughter giving a gift to the grand marshal? This is fishy, too suspicious. Can't let this go. I have to see what this girl is up to. Miss Zhao, please wait a moment. I will go and announce you. I wonder what Lord Zhuang usually likes. Let's skip the small talk and get straight to the point. It's either admiration or a marriage proposal. It's that simple. Asking us this is a bit suspicious, miss. Please don't make things difficult for us. How will we know Lord Zhuang's preferences? We're just employees, not his personal butler. If we dare to say too much, our heads might be hanging at the market gate tomorrow, so silence is golden. Even if we knew, we wouldn't dare say a word. The young lady's shy expression when revealing her feelings is quite charming. I'm probably overthinking it. I did see Lord Zhuang once at Guanyin Temple. Don't laugh at me. I've always had a weakness for handsome men. So when I saw Lord Zhuang, I pretended to be shy, fidgeting with my fingers. If you like him, just say so. No need to be secretive and make things so complicated. What day is it today for someone to be wildly confessing their love at our gate so early in the morning? I must have misheard. Our boss has more of a bad reputation than a good one, yet a girl is chasing him. Miss Zhao has taken a liking to our Lord Zhuang. If he just nods, she'll be head over heels. Love makes everything beautiful. The sky that day was exceptionally blue. Zhao Yuanqing murmured, "I am indeed fond of the Grand Marshal. My lady, we dare not speculate on matters of the heart, but having someone disturb us when we're swamped with work is hardly something to celebrate. However, to know what kind of person he is and still dare to confess, that courage is admirable. She's interesting." The big boss turned his gaze, intrigued by this unusual girl that I must see her, no matter what. "Let her in. I want to see just how infatuated with me she is." The guard opened the gate, ready to welcome this little rabbit into the wolf's den. "Miss Zhao, please come in." She was playing with fire, but she had no other choice. Between marrying some nobody and becoming that tyrant consort, this was a high-stakes gamble. But with the harem selection approaching, the only one who could check Emperor Mingyan was the temperamental Zhuang Li. She sat majestically in the main hall, as if waiting for new entertainment. Her purpose for this visit was never him. But right now, the path to him was her only chance to escape withering away in the Forbidden City. Besides, if she entered the palace, she would inevitably become Zhuang Li's enemy. It was better to take the gamble now. After all, The enemy of my enemy is my friend. She still had a chance to win. Greetings, Lord Zhuang. Although she was here for a political marriage, she couldn't dispense with the proper etiquette. Just as she finished her bow, he teased, I hear Miss Zhao fell for me at first sight. You have eyes that smile. She was startled, nearly dropping the gift in her hands. Since he brought it up, there was no need for her to pretend anymore. No need to be shy about admiring a handsome man. Yes, this humble servant fell for Lord Zhuang at first sight and wishes to serve you for life. Don't think I'm that simple. How could I not know this girl is deeply calculating? Giving up the chance to be an imperial consort to come to me, you've really put a lot of thought into this. The prepared lines just needed to be recited. And why father only wishes for me to marry a man of my heart's desire, and I wish for the same. Glory and wealth are but passing clouds, not what I seek. A question more complex than an oral exam. But it couldn't stump her that, do you think what you want is what I want? We have nothing to do with each other from the start. What does this have to do with me? Are you trying to have a fake marriage or a real alliance with me? If you insist on preserving your chastity, I won't force you to be with me. This is none of your business. I was presumptuous today and will not do so again. My feelings for Lord Zhuang will remain in my heart. It seemed Zhuang Li had no intention of forming an alliance with her. You hold great power, as high as a mountain, so naturally you plan for the long term. It's not yet time to resort to marriage alliances. Show the guest out. The young lady came in a hurry and left in a hurry. Her goal unachieved. Her lonely figure receded into the distance. Honestly, your servant Chinemo is dying of curiosity. How could a peerless beauty like her fail to win our master's heart? Could it be that he doesn't like women? And when did Miss Zhao fall for him? Seriously, Miss Zhao is pretty hot. It wouldn't be a loss to be with her. You didn't see the look of longing in his eyes as she left. It's hilarious. I'm so pathetic, but I can't lose face. A noble lady falling for a unique eunuch. It really makes one shake their head. It would be even more interesting if that sweet, naive girl was as dense as you and didn't grasp her intentions. The reason he rejected her is because they are not of the same world. She is a noble lady, and he's a man who lost his manhood long ago. This means they cannot marry, and if they did, she would have to live as a widow for the rest of her life. He took a sip of tea, feeling the bone-deep chill of Miss Zhao's scheme. With his suspicious nature, even without knowing her motives, he wouldn't dare keep anyone related to Duke Zhao around. This move by Zhao Yuanqing was truly brilliant. The carriage stopped in Fixua's front of the Zhao residence. The maid beside her still didn't understand why her mistress would confess her love to a man who had lost his manhood, giving up the chance to become a high-ranking imperial consort. Miss, why did you confess your feelings to a eunuch? I want everyone in the palace to know that I don't want to go there. If he forces me again, the Zhao family will have no choice but to lean towards Zhuang Li. An emperor wouldn't be so foolish as to hold onto a person over a eunuch, would he? I sacrificed my reputation as a noble lady to proactively steal a eunuch's heart, all to get out of the chance to marry that arrogant monarch. Even if he didn't accept her, at least the word would get out and soon reach the emperor's ears. This may seem like a small matter, but it's a great humiliation. The intended imperial consort confessed her love to his number one enemy, a eunuch. His power is still weak now, and he doesn't want to fall out with the Zhao family. He's probably furious. Just as she was gloating over her prey, falling into the trap, a maid's voice echoed in the residence. Second miss, the master requests your presence in the study. It had only been a few minutes, and the gossip had already spread like wildfire. Her family's network of eyes and ears was terrifying. Miss, I'm afraid the master has already heard about today's events. He's probably furious. It's fine. If I'm not even afraid of the demon Zhuang Li, do I care about my family? The gates of the residence were shut tight that day, as if to stop the rumors from flying out. Yuanqing walked in confidently, as if she knew exactly what this meeting was about. Her father, the head of the Zhao family, and her stepmother, one Yinyang, Zhao Sulan's mother, were already waiting. Seeing them, she knew who had spread the gossip. When Yinyang was trying to stir up trouble again. As soon as she saw her, she shrieked as if deeply concerned, "My dear second miss, what has gotten into you? A proper young lady shouldn't be mixing with a eunuch. Zhao Sulan is young and foolish. Do you want to be punished like your sister? Such good acting, playing the loving mother. How infuriating, it's laughable. Master, don't be too angry." The second miss was just momentarily confused. It's normal for young people to be foolish and have some radical ideas. Third sister was punished by grandmother for her misconduct. Is concubine Enong also dissatisfied with my actions? Her fake face makes me sick. Does she think she's everyone's mother? After being rebuked by her, she was speechless, but her own father protected her, holding his precious daughter. You think you're smart? When it comes to acting, I can beat them all. What's so hard about playing the obedient daughter? Father, Yuanqing knows she was wrong. She apologized, but he still didn't believe his daughter. You are too insolent. The stepmother interjected, reprimanding her without mercy, lording over her as if she were her mother. Second miss, look how angry you've made the master. Hurry and apologize to your father. What's it to you? In her eyes, she had no right to speak. She was just the second wife of this family, while she herself was the legitimate daughter of the main wife. Her father worried that his daughter had been possessed. Yuanqing, you are usually so well-behaved at home. Were you provoked in some way? Wen Yinyang was angry at his attitude. His eldest daughter was so rude, yet he was by her side asking if she was okay. If Zhao Yuanqing spoke to me like that, the old master still cares about his daughter. Oh, dear, that's because you don't have the protagonist's halo. Your status in this family means you have no right to speak softly at all. Returning to the state of being the family's darling daughter, I was just stressed about the selection, so I spoke my mind. I hope concubine Enong won't take it to heart. She didn't mean a word of it. Truly top-tier acting. Anyone can act. It's not over until the end. Who knows if things will take a turn? Her father was relieved, confirming his daughter was fine. But one person's joy is another sorrow. Someone was already cursing that little bitch in her heart. I won't let you live in peace. She refused to give up, continuing to drip poison into the old master's ear. Even if Yuanqing's behavior today was a bit foolish, if word gets out, it will tarnish our reputation. The one in the palace will give up on bringing her in, and this will surely implicate the Zhao family in punishment. The master won't just let this go, Yuanqing. Just you wait to be punished. These crazy women. A stepmother never loves her stepchildren. Her face was full of concern, but in her heart, she was plotting how to destroy her stepdaughter. The Zhao family has enough wealth to support all its daughters for a lifetime, so the old master didn't care about making a big deal out of it. On the contrary, he was glad his plum wine wasn't given away as a gift. It turned out that avoiding entering the palace because of this was a good thing. After all, home is where we belong. I thought she was a chicken, but she turned out to be a pile of shit. This stepmother is no match for this father-daughter duo. The old master thinks it's fine not to enter the palace, and not only does he not punish her. Instead, he comforted her. Madam, word of the second Mrs. Affair has already spread. It's inevitable that people will gossip. This old woman is still trying to drive a wedge between the father and daughter, truly overestimating herself. She knows everything except her own place, a toad wanting to eat swan meat. The power in this family belongs to the matriarch, not some concubine, yet she's bossing the old master around as if she's so righteous. Is it your place to interrupt? He ignored the clueless woman, took his daughter's hand to comfort her, and told her to live as she pleased and not let others' words ruin her life. Essay woman, what others say doesn't matter. They wouldn't dare say too much in front of me. If anyone dares to bully you, our Zhao family is not to be trifled with. Having such a supportive and open-minded father is truly winning at life. Father, the daughter understands. He didn't dare disturb his precious daughter any longer, telling her to go to sleep and forget her fatigue and the world's gossip. Yes, be happy. You must be tired from being out today. Go back and rest early. Yes. She turned and left with a victor's smile. You dare to fight me? You're just a rock on the side of the road, thinking you're some fragrant flower, publicly confessing love to a eunuch. How can this matter be let go so easily? Furious that her plan to frame Zhao Yuanqing had failed, her face turned as dark as Sister Chrysanthemum's future, revealing an ugly expression. Does the Zhao family only bully my son and me? How outrageous! Zhao Yuanqing, I won't let you off easily. Before long, the rumor of a rich young lady confessing her love to a eunuch echoed at the palace gates, becoming the talk of the town. The palace breeze was just right, and it didn't take long for the matter to reach the emperor's ears. How dare a daughter of the Zhao family publicly confess her love for a damned eunuch? This is a blatant disregard for us. Emperor Ming and Qi Zili angrily slammed a book on the table. He had intended to recruit a lady from a prestigious family, but who knew she would take such a sharp turn, standing him up for a man who's lost his manhood. How could he not be furious when his imperial dignity was rejected like this? It seems this Zhao family girl needs to be taught a lesson. The next day arrived. Thanks to the scandal between her and Zhuang. She was summoned to the palace gates. She figured the emperor must be having sleepless nights and a poor appetite because of her. Sure enough, Emperor Ming and couldn't sit still after hearing the news. Summoning me to the palace so quickly? Perfect. I'll go for a tour today and see if the hearts of the people here are blacker than their lip rouge. She had barely taken a few steps when a five-fingered mountain blocked her path. Stop. Where did this little brat come from? Acting like a school bully. It turned out to be the 10th princess. Despite living in the palace for so long, her posture and behavior were just like a street loiterer's, completely devoid of etiquette. This princess told you to stop. Are you deaf? Having lived a life before, she knew this little one's tragic fate. In her previous life, the 10th princess was of legitimate birth and deeply favored by the late emperor, which fostered an arrogant nature. After Emperor Ming ascended the throne, to maintain his reputation, he outwardly doted on her, but in reality, he was killing her with kindness. She remembered the scene of this girl's tragic death due to her imperial brother's affection. Under Emperor Ming and strategy of feigned praise, the 10th princess would lose her life for a mistake in less than a year. Right now, the 10th princess was being used as a pawn by Emperor Ming and a test me. Your subject greets the 10th princess. May the princess be well. Maintaining her etiquette and controlling her emotions, no one knew that in her heart she wanted to curse this little brat. Despite her politeness, the princess still gave her the side eye. You are the Zhao family's Zhao Yuanqing? I am. After asking for her name, it was time to collect a protection fee. No payment meant a fight would start. This princess doesn't like you. Slap yourself, or shall this princess grant you the favor? Your subject does not know what offense she has committed. This one was truly amusing, wanting to hit someone for no reason. Then again, she hit people she found pleasing to the eye, and though she didn't, she disliked anyone prettier than her. This princess finds you displeasing to the eye, then that is your fault. As expected of the palace bloodline, so arrogant and domineering at such a young age, daring to openly strike someone at the palace gates. In that case, forgive your subject for being unable to comply. You dare to disobey? She pouted, throwing a tantrum. You dare to defy this princess's command? She just calmly replied with a sharp and profound sentence. A fairy cannot harm a princess. Can't win a one-on-one, so you're ganging up, is that it? Harm this princess? Ridiculous. Seize her for this princess. The two brutish guards only followed the silly girl's absurd commands. Is their monthly salary in the tens of millions? So easily fooled, they believe any nonsense, refusing a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. In that case, I'll have to grant you the favor. Oh, another good show to watch. The emperor is no ordinary man. He also knows how to kill with a borrowed knife. It seems Emperor Ming not only wants to test me, but also wants to use the princess's hand to teach me a lesson. Then he can push the blame onto the princess, giving her a bad name for bullying others with her power, killing two birds with one stone. Unfortunately for him, she is the daughter of a general. Your Majesty, on the surface, she's a delicate young lady, but she has touched countless swords and blades and learned innumerable family martial arts. I am the daughter of a general, trained in martial arts since childhood. How could I fall for such a low-level trap? Come on, babies, let's see how your old lady here is going to take care of you. A light slap and one goes down. A heavy blow to the back of the head. She single-handedly took on 3 burly men, her years of martial arts training on full display. Ouch, that hurts. This time, they've run into a martial arts master. One person taking on the whole world. How could this be? This fairy took it upon herself to discipline these unruly servants for the princess's own good. A wise person adapts to the circumstances. After her performance, she turned and bowed to the princess. She's definitely using flowery language to make the story sound good. Crying when you can't win. So bad you don't even know it, and you still dare to confront me? You hit this princess's people and claim it's for this princess's good? You're so glib. Watch as this princess tears your mouth apart. Then she lunged to fight her one-on-one. In her eyes, this girl was as weak as a kitten, so there was no need to rush, just enjoy the show. A classic dodge sent her face planting into the dirt. Ah, little one, you should smell the scent of flowers and grass more. In the future, it will just be the smell of dirt and incense for you. The 2 guards helped up the weak girl who had brought this upon herself. Zhao Yuanqing, I'll kill you. You just wait for this princess. My imperial brother will surely punish you severely. Does it hurt, little sister? Still daring to talk big. It seems you haven't learned your lesson. Seeing her looking as pathetic as a dog fresh from a bath, she found it both funny and exasperating. The arrogant words paired with her wretched appearance had a certain cute, comedic quality. You still dare to laugh? So embarrassing in broad daylight. It's a good thing I held back my laughter. This fairy wouldn't dare. Emperor Ming and would never just send a naive little princess as the vanguard. There must be more moves to come. The twists and turns in this palace are a story that couldn't be finished by tomorrow morning. Just as she was thinking this, a senior nanny came to check on the princess. An old nanny from the palace stepped forward to comfort the princess. The little one sobbed and cried to the nanny, "She bullied me." This old crone didn't care who was right or wrong. She only knew that the imperial command was a blade hanging over her head. To defy it was a death sentence. So she could only play the part of the villain, mocking her status. The princess is of noble birth. Second Miss Zhao is a subject. How can you be so disrespectful? Does Zhao Yuanqing only know of the Zhao family and not the imperial family? Ugh, useless from youth to old age. It seems this is Emperor Ming and's follow-up move. To provoke her, one must be prepared to go all out because it will definitely result in serious injury. I wasn't even scared from 1st to 5th grade. So what's this old and young duo to me? I'm a fearless tomboy. There's no need to be polite to people in the palace. In fact, I have a few golden words of advice for the 10th princess's nanny. Nanny, don't try to pin such a heavy accusation on me. I understand the etiquette between ruler and subject, which is why I would never let these servants with ill intentions lead the princess astray. It is you, nanny, as the princess's personal attendant, who fails to offer counsel. That is what truly betrays the emperor's grace. As a nanny with close ties to the imperial family, although she was a servant, her status was higher than an outsider's. Being refuted like this by a woman, she certainly wanted to talk back. You certainly have a sharp tongue. Since when is it your place to discipline the princess? If anything were to happen to the princess's precious self, could you, Zhao Yuanqing, bear the responsibility? Didn't the princess fall on her own? Or is it a crime for a guest not to help the princess up when she falls? If so, the blame should lie with the nanny who serves the princess. What does it have to do with me? She must take responsibility for her own actions. Who can she blame for not thinking of the consequences? She won't even admit her own mistake and still wants to argue. You clearly dodged on purpose. If you hadn't dodged, how would I have fallen? Why should I have to dodge? Ha! I've caught the loophole in her words. Isn't that statement just a defense of her own actions? Are you implying that the princess intentionally tried to run into me? The princess is of noble birth, and I am but a humble fairy. If the Empress Dowager and His Majesty were to place blame, I would have nothing to say. She was a metapsychology major. Faced with my tricky question, she was rendered speechless. To answer was death. To not answer was also death. There was no way out. This girl is truly difficult to deal with. If she admitted it, it would be tantamount to saying the 10th princess started the trouble. As Emperor Mingyan's power is not yet consolidated, he would never dare to punish Zhao Yuanqing without cause. Otherwise, he would not only offend the Zhao family, but also stir discontent among other officials. I know that the people in this forbidden city value the imperial family's face more than their own lives. My question must have already put enough pressure on her. I will never give anyone the chance to bully me. If Emperor Ming and truly wants to punish me, I will make him pay it back twofold. Those who follow the will of the people prosper. Those who go against it perish. It all depends on whether the emperor is just and fair. The imperial palace is an incredibly dark place where any twisted logic can be spun. The princess says Zhao Yuanqing bullied people, but Zhao Yuanqing denies it. Are you suggesting the princess is lying, framing her for showing contempt for the imperial family? Is that a crime Zhao Yuanqing can bear? She looked down on the status of officials, valuing only the imperial bloodline, believing that besides the imperial family, nothing else was worth mentioning. Imperial power is supreme. Let's see how you, little fairy, can argue your way out of this. If we're going to argue, let's argue to the end. Let's see whose argument is stronger, yours or her empty words. Just as the battle was about to begin, a handsome man of 6 feet arrived. The Lord Protector has arrived at just the right moment. A mere servant, daring to use the imperial family's name to slander someone. As expected of the living king of hell, he sends anyone who dares to disrespect him on their final journey. Although he is a eunuch, his status forces everyone to bow their heads. Even a high and mighty 10th princess and the powerful nanny had to kneel and greet this Lord Protector. Your servant greets Zhuang Li. But I wasn't the least bit afraid of him. To me, he was like a linear equation with two variables, unsolvable. I never expected to run into Zhuang Li here. He has always been a variable in my heart, and I don't know if he is a blessing or a curse. The two of you are gazing at each other with such affection, something the gossiping crowd loves to see. I was just bowing out of politeness. Greetings, Zhuang Li. The moment he saw me, he started shouting about my crush on him. Well, if it isn't the Miss Zhao who admires this Lord Protector, please keep your voice down. It's so embarrassing when you're this loud. Let's stick to the matter at hand and not bring this up every time we meet. I'm an unmarried maiden. I have my reputation to consider. You just said that second Miss Zhao framed the little princess? He shot a quarter glance at the bowing palace nanny. It looked like someone was about to be blacklisted. To deal with these people in the palace who don't know the rules, he said a few irrelevant things to me. What was it that the person who admires this Lord Protector said just now? Oh, right. You said this Lord Protector is exceedingly handsome. That is the truth. No one is more honest than you. His narcissistic streak was acting up again, and he was even altering the script to promote his devastatingly handsome looks. He didn't mind, but the person next to him did. You say she is lying. Are you then suggesting that this Lord Protector is not handsome? Using his appearance to accuse the nanny of being arrogant and disrespectful was perfectly logical. If her answer didn't please him, she could start planning her last meal. The nanny was sweating profusely, not daring to speak or even lift her head. Your servant misspoke. Everything second Miss Zhao said is true. Your servant wouldn't dare. She knew his words had nothing to do with the situation, but if she dared to talk back, it would be like pressing a self-destruct button. What does this have to do with what's happening? I can't refute it. Running into the living king of hell, Zhuang Li, is a truly tough break. I have no power to fight back at all. Out of the tiger's den and into the wolf's lair. She had her fun spouting her twisted logic, but with one rebuttal from him, her crime was established. Or are you saying the princess is lying? To frame a princess is to show contempt for the imperial family. Oh, that is a grave crime. No. I stood to the side watching him flex his skills, laughing inwardly. As expected, Zhuang Li is terrifying. He doesn't just kill people, he destroys their spirit. This Lord Protector has lived for over 20 years and has only now found someone who admires me so, and who is both talented and beautiful. If my admirer were to be injured, where would I put my face? As he spoke, he toyed with a lock of my hair, as if cherishing a priceless treasure. Whoever dares to touch her will be reduced to ashes. After playing with them like a cat toying with a mouse, he slowly uttered the words that would spare the nanny. All right, this Lord Protector is bored. Go receive your punishment yourself. Her ancestors must have accumulated good karma for her to escape the clutches of the living king of hell. She breathed a sigh of relief, grateful to have kept her life in his presence. Thank you, Zhuang Li. Your servant will never dare to offend second Miss Zhao again. She was happy, but that little girl certainly wasn't. I'm so lucky to have powerful people helping me wherever I go. Not only did they fail to harm me, but they got a scolding instead. He looked at the people supporting each other like commoners from the market, his eyes filled with disdain. I posed a question with no beginning or end, making me think he was asking how far I'd gotten in reviewing for my psychology exam. Just a little bit. That's not enough. Let Shinamo teach you a little. My speech lacks subjects and predicates, relying entirely on context and whether it's taken out of context. I don't know. As she said this, she suddenly felt something was off. He mentioned his brother's name. Little did she know, he had sneezed dozens of times at home. Simple-minded and physically strong, not good at using his brain, but his hands and feet are quick. The one who was with me in the peach blossom forest that day. His brain isn't all there, but his martial arts are pretty good. So I was just overthinking it, assuming he was asking about a psychology textbook when he was actually telling me to exercise. Why the sudden talk of teaching me martial arts? I've already said it. If you really get hurt, I'll lose face. I don't have many virtues, but I am protective of my own. The bad boy role doesn't need acting, but the good boy role must be played well. With just a few words, he steered the story in a romantic direction, full of pink bubbles. His infatuated gaze towards her suddenly turned as gentle as water, full of tenderness. He's fierce to outsiders, but to me, he's terrifying. Does an admirer count as family that needs protecting? When did love change your reasoning? I had no idea. I appreciate the thought, but I'm also the daughter of a general. I can still hold my own in a fight. Thank you, Lord Protector, but there's no need. I could protect myself. Seeing her cold attitude, he began to ponder. So cold. It seems she has no desire to be protected at all. This girl is still the most interesting, daring to kick down my door and confess in public. I open my heart, but she's ready to refuse. The more I get to know her, the more I discover a kind of fun that others can't provide. There aren't many people who can interest me. You're not bad. I'll protect you. Defying the Imperial command, not entering this dragon's pool and tiger's den, but instead sending you home. We won't enter the palace today. Let's go. I'll escort you back to your residence. Escort me back to my residence? I'm a little unaccustomed to your shocking actions. However, they still went back together. The carriage stopped in front of her family's residence. Zhuang, we've arrived at the Zhao residence. I owe you my thanks for this time. A simple thank you is not enough to express it. Thank you, Zhuang Li. He pulled open the curtain to observe the surroundings, checking for paparazzi or ancient cameras. After confirming no one was around, he felt at ease to pull the curtain down and let her go back. The girl watched the carriage carrying the man she loved depart, her heart filled with confusion. He's so unpredictable. I don't dare show a hint of love or hate. What exactly is Zhuang Li's attitude? Meeting in the palace might have been a coincidence, and then he even escorted me home. When I wanted to be with him, he refused. Now he's taking the initiative to show goodwill, making a young girl's heart waver. I'm supposed to play the role of the infatuated woman, while he neither accepts nor rejects, remaining detached, still the high and mighty Zhuang. The more I think, the more tired I get. Forget it. I'd better not think about it. Let nature take its course. I can handle it anyway. This person is truly moody. Older sister went out with a man, leaving me at home all alone. And now you're sneaking back home, caught red-handed by your younger sister, fooling around with a man. Now, there's going to be a big drama at home. The eldest daughter of the Zhao family is involved with a wild man outside, and this time he even followed her to the doorstep. Let's see how you explain this to father. The opportunity to frame her doesn't come often. I must blow this matter up. Older sister was caught red-handed fooling around with a man at the door. Second sister truly lives up to her name as a lady from a prestigious family. Just after flirting with a eunuch, she has a wild man escort her back to the residence. One can tell it's nothing good just by hearing it. What's so strange about the sour words of a jealous woman? As long as someone is happy, there will always be someone jealous. The favored and the unprivileged, jealousy is normal. Trouble comes from a mouth. Do you want to go kneel in the ancestral hall? After being lectured by her older sister, younger sister started lecturing me on etiquette. I only said a few words, and you act like this in front of everyone. Is this how a well-bred lady behaves? What does being a well-bred lady have to do with you? She used well-bred lady to mock her sister, but in reality, the younger sister doesn't even count as one, just a concubine's daughter in the Zhao family. Her older sister hit a sore spot about her status, and the younger sister started shouting, using twisted logic to defend herself, claiming she's always right and never makes mistakes. Although I'm not the legitimate daughter, I'm still a daughter of the Zhao family. Second sister, if you have no shame, at least have some decency. Don't drag our whole family down with you, flirting with a eunuch and then being seen with a wild man. Outsiders will think this is how the Zhao family is. The Zhao family's reputation is something your mother should worry about, not a distant relative of the main family. A concubine's daughter teaching the legitimate daughter what to do, making judgments without knowing the full picture. Is this the etiquette you've learned over decades? A single sentence hit the sore spot of her humble origins. The younger sister knew she couldn't win a war of words, so she resorted to a venomous snake's trick. I was just worried about my sister, so I spoke a bit hastily. Are you really going to hold it against me? Then second sister is being too petty, pretending to care, pretending to worry about second sister, yet still stabbing her in the back regarding her virtue. She scoffed at such a low-handed trick and rewarded her with a slap. You hit me. This young lady, who had been pampered since childhood, had never suffered such a grievance. Always protected by her mother, how could she endure the pain on her face? In that case, I'll tell you. If you think my goodwill is worthless, I'll show you just how worthless it is. Let's see who protects you this time. You say I'm petty, then I'll be petty for you to see. Zhao Salon, I usually consider our family's reputation and don't argue with you, but don't you dare provoke me. No one could have predicted how great a woman's anger could be. Her eyes flashed with extreme hatred for this fake sister, and also hatred for the tedious formalities that prevented her from living freely. In my past life, I was a lady of a prestigious family, every move restricted. Even when angry, I had to back down for the sake of reputation and etiquette. In my past life, I only knew how to back down, but haven't I already died once? Compared to being alive, what are reputation and etiquette? I would rather choose to live. In this life, I must start over. A noble character is no match for supreme power, to be able to look up and see the sunlight, instead of being a woman who bows her head everywhere. She couldn't be bothered to stand here and argue with this disrespectful sister. She'd rather go home and sleep. Hide your tail. I won't hold it against you this time, but don't show off in front of me, or I won't mind fulfilling my duty as an older sister. With all my heart and effort. Zhao Yuanqing, you're crazy. Unable to win in a fight or an argument, she frowned in anger. The maid beside her saw that she couldn't win against the second miss no matter what, so she advised her not to foolishly stick her hand into an anthill, lest she get bitten and cry in pain. Miss, it seems second miss is different from before. We'd better not clash with her head on. Who does she think she is? This girl was stubborn, insisting on competing with her second sister. Not a chance. If this trick doesn't work, I'll use a more despicable one. Torture myself and then frame someone else. Ji Hong, slap my face until it's red. Ah, your servant wouldn't dare. A heavy slap landed on the old wound, and it immediately became red and swollen. Even the maid beside her felt sorry for her. Miss, continue. As long as I can't feel the pain, this revenge won't be complete. I must use a self-inflicted injury to defeat second sister. While a lively drama between women was unfolding outside the mansion gates, inside, it was all peace and harmony. At the family banquet, there was cheerful laughter as everyone served each other food and asked after one another's well-being. The concubine had the kitchen prepare your favorite pork ribs. Please try them and see if my skills have improved. The master was eating but didn't see his daughter, so he asked her mother if she had eaten yet, to know whether to save some for her. Where's the third miss? Why hasn't she come to eat? The maidservant standing nearby looked grim, as if she already knew. The third miss said she was tired today and has already gone to rest. Before she could finish, the young Mrs. Mother turned her head, wanting to hear clearly. What's so strange about that? Spit it out. You're stammering. I don't have time to guess what's behind this. It's just, the third miss has a very clear slap mark on her face. Hearing this, her mother immediately jumped to her feet. She was bullied, and you're only telling me now? Even if the sky were falling, it wouldn't stop you from eating. What? Master, let's go see. Meanwhile, the master and servant duo were joining forces to play the victim. Miss, you're finally here. The second miss went too far this time. I really couldn't bear to watch. Miss, we must tell the master about this. Looks like you haven't memorized the script yet. I have to maintain an innocent appearance, take all the blame on myself, and beg for their forgiveness to Ji Hong. The second miss is the legitimate daughter. It's all my fault. Hurry and beg her for forgiveness. Though her words were light, her face wore a hateful expression. Her father and mother rushed over, wanting to see their daughter and find out who had bullied her. Father, the moment she saw you, she had already set the stage. She had to play the role of the poor, frightened, weak little sister, oppressed by her second sister, to the very end. Feeling the act wasn't dramatic enough, she deliberately turned her face away to hide the mark on her cheek. Why did father come so suddenly? She successfully achieved her goal of winning her parents' sympathy. Everyone started asking her which hand had kissed the young Mrs. Cheek. Who hit the third miss? It was second sister, but she only hit me once, not hard. Besides, it was because I spoke insolently first that she got angry. Hearing that his daughter dared to strike her sister, the father asked what she had said. What exactly did you say? Without any extra theatrics, she embellished the story into a complete mess. I saw second sister being brought home by a strange man. I felt it was improper and just reminded her a little. A strange man? Last time, his daughter was making eyes at eunuch, and now she's involved with some other disreputable man. Zhao Yuan, go and summon the second miss. The mother and daughter, knowing their scheme was about to succeed, exchanged a satisfied glance. Zhao Yuanqing was in trouble now. This time, the courtyard, which had been tranquil just a moment before, turned into a noisy spectacle. In the center of the main courtyard, the great figures, the master and the concubine with her daughter, sat sternly, waiting to pass judgment on her. Father, for what matter have you summoned me? On the surface, she maintained her etiquette towards her father, but in her heart, she had to admire her sister's viciousness, willing to trample on her own family to achieve her goals. It had to be said, Zhao Sulan was not only ruthless to her enemies, but also to her own people. The moment he saw his daughter, he got straight to the point. Did you hit your third sister? That damn concubine feigned interjection to mediate. Master, those words are too harsh. It's just a small squabble between sisters. How could it be so serious as to involve hitting? No need to be coy and waste my time. I will confess what my sister did to save everyone the trouble of guessing. Yes, I hit Zhao Yuanqing. Is it your attitude? A daughter who is usually so well behaved now dares to talk back to her father. How outrageous! She glanced at the concubine with a sarcastic look that a child raised by a concubine of common birth is indeed lacking in many ways. Stung by her mockery, the concubine felt a slight pang in her heart. This girl dares to bring up my birth. Fine, then I'll be direct. I'm afraid people of a certain level won't understand my subtext, and that would be troublesome. If it weren't for that slap today, third sister would have lost her life, and the entire Zhao family would have been implicated. If father hadn't summoned me, I would have brought this matter up sooner or later. This determined gaze didn't seem like a lie. The matter should be handled with discretion, not by listening to only one side. What are you talking about? The master still believed his own daughter was innocent and wouldn't get involved with a strange man for no reason. The younger one, on the other hand, grew worried about his attitude. Father doesn't say it, but what I fear most is her quietly turning the tables like this. I will confess this matter myself. No need for you to add fuel to the fire. Why do I have a bad feeling? But how can a private meeting with a strange man be spun into a good thing? I don't believe it. She still stubbornly believed she was right, that reporting her sister's fault was not a bad thing. So she had to say a few more words to make her spill everything. First, she showed affection for that eunuch, and now she's mixing with a strange man. I think second sister is in the wrong, but second sister must have her reasons. I've said my piece. The master ignored her words and decided to hear from the person involved. Is this true? What is your explanation? Yes, but does father know who sent me back? She put on an air of impending doom, yet still wore a smile, making him curious about the identity behind the strange young man. Don't be coy. It was Zhuang Li. Damn it, it's that eunuch everyone is rumored to be openly flirting with. The name of the god of death was known to all, especially for the Zhao family, who had lived near the imperial palace for many years. That name was an obsession for many, a source of fear. Zhuang Li was no exception for the entire family. For a young lady of the mansion to be escorted home by a god of death was truly a wonder of the world. The master heard his daughter was escorted back by a major figure. If he were to blame her now, that person might be displeased. If it was Lord Zhuang's request, it was better to turn a blind eye. It was hard to refuse. After gaining her father's trust, she immediately turned the tables on her annoying sister, letting her know not to provoke people she shouldn't. The matter isn't that simple. Even if third sister gossiped about Lord Zhuang and me behind my back, I wouldn't hold it against her. But Lord Zhuang hadn't gone far. If I had let third sister run her mouth, Lord Zhuang might have thought the Zhao family was displeased with him. I turned the situation around, pushing all the blame onto my sister. Father, I was saving third sister. Otherwise, that god of death might have paid an unexpected visit. Since she puts it that way, what are you still doubting? It was the younger one who made trouble out of nothing and spoke carelessly, causing this incident. Solon, you too, be more careful with your words and actions in the future. From victim to villain, you're now stammering, unable to say a word. Did I get slapped for nothing? This is infuriating. The concubine and her daughter's faces darkened, glaring viciously at the legitimate second miss. She returned their glare with a slap of her own. As for her, she responded with a triumphant look and a smile that MY rank is not something you can match. You're still too green to fight with me. The farce ended smoothly. The master and servant looked at each other and smiled, both delighted by the mother-daughter pair's frustration. Did Miss plan to use Lord Zhuang as a shield from the very beginning? Who wouldn't take advantage of a good opportunity? Besides, Lord Zhuang's reputation in the capital is formidable. Anyone who doesn't show him some respect is asking for trouble. Lord Zhuang's name is indeed useful. Suddenly, a male servant came to report. Second miss, the Grand Tutor requests your presence. See, the one who summoned me has arrived. Hearing this name, she was as happy as a child who had just received candy. Grandmother, grandfather. After all these years, the longing in her heart surged up. Grandfather, I finally get to see you. Seeing her grandfather, the brilliant smile on her face could no longer be suppressed. Grandfather, it's been a long time. The kind-faced, white-bearded old man was waiting for his beloved granddaughter to approach. I heard rumors about you as soon as I returned. Even hearing him gently chide her for matters of romance, she wasn't sad, but rather happy for the intimacy with him. Grandfather knows I don't want to enter the palace. Using Zhuang Qiu's name once is fine. The daughters of the Zhao family have no shortage of suitors, but if you keep getting entangled with Zhuang Qiu, Zhao Yuanqing, you should know your limits. He was still worried about her, afraid that the god of death would harm his beloved granddaughter. I met the 10th princess today. She was prepared to tell him everything. The 10th princess? I didn't get involved with Lord Zhuang for no reason. It was because he helped me out of a predicament, and I couldn't let him down. Yes, the princess was deliberately looking for trouble, and thankfully Zhuang Qiu helped me out. And the person behind the princess is likely the one on high. In that person's eyes, I'm afraid there's no room for our Zhao family. The old man understood. An emperor's greatest fear is a subject whose achievements overshadow his own. The Zhao family has been a line of generals for generations, with illustrious military achievements on the battlefield. Naturally, some people would become restless. How could the emperor let those around him rest easy, especially those close to him? Even if we cooperate with Zhuang Qiu to replace the emperor, as long as the Zhao family still holds real power, we can't escape this fate. But what if we can form a balance of power? Having lived a lifetime, she understood the ways of the world and had a very thorough grasp of the situation. She explained her position to him and the great benefits of allying with the god of death. Zhuang Qiu my contact with Zhuang Qiu will make Emperor Mingyan wary of the Zhao family, not daring to act, and instead try to win us over. As long as the men of the Zhao family don't declare their stance, Emperor Mingyan will keep trying to win us over. And if Zhuang Qiu wants to move against us, Emperor Mingyan will never stand by and watch. This way, the Zhao family will be the safest. Although this is like asking a tiger for its skin, if we know we can tame it, it will be very useful. Otherwise, someone will naturally come to our aid. What you say makes a lot of sense. As someone in the official circles, even he had to admire this method. It both preserved the Zhao family's reputation and made the emperor afraid to act rashly. That it's a way, but the entire court despises Zhuang Qiu. Have you thought through the gains and losses of approaching him so rashly? In the end, it's just a matter concerning me, a mere daughter. Why drag the whole family into it? She was determined not to let her family be implicated. She would bear the consequences alone. An ordinary girl might not understand worldly affairs. But this granddaughter of mine is exceptionally intelligent, solving the problem in just a few words. This girl, all right, go back. You go ahead with this matter. Grandfather has your back and won't let you be wronged. His warm hand was like the summer sun, letting her relive a peaceful memory that grandfather's hand is as warm as ever. In a world of unpredictable hearts, having his protection was truly the best thing in the world. The next day, the sky was as blue as a sweet song. A young woman of marriageable age looked at herself in the mirror as her personal maid combed her long, dark hair. Luin, in the next few days, find some meticulous people to keep a close eye on Zhao Sulan. Now that she's out of the ancestral hall, she will definitely contact Su Sucheng. The moment she makes a move, immediately pass the news to the Fu family. The days are peaceful, but as long as that annoying sister is around, I still have to be on guard. But remember, don't be too obvious. Just let Fu Luoli investigate on her own. Our Miss is so clever. I am in awe of your foresight. I understand. Miss is brilliant. This is to let them have a dog-eat-dog fight. We were in the middle of a beauty live stream when a knock on the door came to spoil the fun. Second Miss of the Zhao family. How can a man come in from outside? Lord Zhuang's apprentice had come on his superior's orders. The commander ordered me to come and teach the second Miss martial arts. Seriously, is he planning a jungle trekking route? Isn't this young man afraid of the neighbor's gossip? I appreciate Lord Zhuang's kind intentions, but for you to barge in like this is not good for the young Miss's reputation. Only after doing it did I realize how slow I was that I forgot that the second Miss is a lady from a prestigious family with many rules. It was my oversight, but don't worry, I've memorized this route by heart. There isn't a single camera, so rest assured. But when I climbed over the wall, I didn't see anyone. Yuanqing's maid must have been speechless at this guy who acts faster than he thinks. Luckily, you came to the rescue, or the maid would have been in an awkward spot, but I have no intention of learning martial arts. I appreciate Lord Zhuang's kind offer. Your boss gave you an order. How can you return empty-handed? If you don't meet your KPI at the end of the month, your salary will be docked. That I can't make the decision on this. If you want to back out, you'll have to talk to Lord Zhuang yourself. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? After chatting for a bit, I realized something was wrong. I had unknowingly fallen into a trap. How could I, with my slow brain, do anything on purpose? He was clearly talking nonsense, but she let him off. After all, it's not good to involve outsiders. You're just a worker. There's no need to make things difficult for them. I understand. I will go to the Eastern Depot tomorrow to speak with Lord Zhuang personally. I understand now. Zhuang Xiu was just talking, but Shunemo showing up today was Zhuang Xiu deliberately forcing his hand. The brother knew she saw right through him, so he just smiled confidently and non-committally. So the next day, a person in bright green clothes came to the commander's residence to pay a visit, but was stopped at the gate. This is the Eastern Depot. Unauthorized personnel are not allowed. I went to the trouble of dressing as a man to see him just to avoid awkwardness. How could I turn back now? I have an appointment with Lord Zhuang. Please inform him that someone with the surname Zhao is here. Is it second young master Zhao? Please wait a moment. I'll go and announce you. The guard didn't suspect her gender at all, figuring it was fine for men to talk among themselves. Please wait in the office. I thought it was some kind of same-sex date. No, it's just a girl dressed as a man to see him without being shy. No traps or anything that I was wondering when I had made the acquaintance of a young master Zhao. It turns out to be a young lady. My eyesight is good. I can tell men from women, so I didn't pick the wrong person. I came to see you about the matter of you having your apprentice sneak into my house last time. To avoid causing trouble for Lord Zhuang, I had to disguise myself a little. I didn't know Lord Zhuang had instructed you to come today. Is there something you wanted to say to me? The second miss clearly came on her own, so why say I summoned you? You really love to nitpick. You must have had great grammar in school, always looking for faults. I say something with good intentions, and you still want to cause trouble. If it weren't for the fact that you're a god of death, I would have kicked you twice already. Oh, right, I came on my own. I wanted to thank Lord Zhuang for his kind offer to teach me martial arts, and also to retract my invitation. Oh, his gaze turned to her with an indifferent look. She found this person more and more annoying the longer she looked at him. His words and actions didn't match. Zhuang Xiu was really asking for a beating, becoming more displeasing to the eye. Chunemo is Lord Zhuang's shadow guard. It's a waste of his talent to teach me martial arts. I appreciate Lord Zhuang's kind offer, but as for learning martial arts, I will ask my maternal family for help. Only then did he remember that her family were high officials for generations, and her maternal family was a line of generals. Asking someone to teach martial arts to a person from a family of military strategists was indeed putting the cart before the horse. Oh, right, your maternal family are military officials. He said some nonsense and then fell silent, leaving her to guess his mood. Playing this kind of game, Zhuang Xiu's attitude clearly meant he wanted to ask for my help, but wouldn't say it himself. So annoying. So she had to lower herself and ask him first. Has Lord Zhuang encountered any troubles recently? Is there anything I can help with? It's nothing major. I just heard that in a few days, some young masters are organizing a kuja match. He left his office chair and moved closer to her. Every word drew her into a fantasy world. I'd like to go and see, but going alone always feels like something is missing. Hearing this, she knew an invitation was coming next. Why is he targeting her like this again? He should take a beauty to boost his image, to prove that even though he's lost his laptop, his charm remains. If Miss is free, I wonder if I might have the honor of accompanying Lord Zhuang. Such a god of death, yet he knows how to use a few sweet words to charm a girl. For second Miss Zhao to be willing to associate with a eunuch like me, it is naturally more than I could ask for. That's the only nice thing I've heard you say so far. The rest was all nonsense. You're such a sweet talker, I have no problem with you. But if you dress like a tomboy, people will think I'm your sugar daddy. But I don't like going out with young masters. I prefer beauties. Second Miss Zhao, do you understand? I'm hitting on you so obviously. How can you pretend not to get it? You're making this young lady blush. Swept off her feet by his flirting, her eyes were now only for him. His beauty wasn't in his appearance, but in the eye of the beholder. The admiration was fake, but his noble and handsome demeanor was real. I know I'm handsome, but you don't have to stare like that. I'll get shy. Why so quiet? Are you lost in my smile? But I ruined the mood by covering my nose. All right, I get it. You don't have to lean in so close. I have sensitive skin, you know. Seeing her flustered and shy, he suddenly felt the urge to tease her. Second Miss Zhao says she likes me, but why do I feel like we're pulling away? Men and women shouldn't be too close. But if a handsome man asks, why bother with propriety? And I was just afraid of disturbing Lord Zhuang. If Lord Zhuang doesn't mind, I'm willing to get a little closer. Oh, I don't mind. Her smile was as brilliant as a night blooming Sirius, so bright it blinded her eyes to the sun. This was the first time she had made him genuinely smile. She felt he wasn't as distant as the rumors said. Sometimes she really couldn't figure out what he was thinking. Zhuang Qiu must have realized that her so-called public confession was just to threaten Emperor Mingyan, but his current attitude was hard to grasp. This man was unpredictable, sometimes distant, sometimes very close, beyond her comprehension, but smiling so happily, like he just smoked 10 kilos of weed. If he were a normal man, I'd suspect he wanted to take me into his harem. But he's a eunuch, so he probably doesn't want me as his parrot-eating partner. She had to maintain her purity to avoid being targeted by some perverted young man with a whole triad under his command. Don't let your imagination run wild in front of me. You're the one with the dirty mind. How would I dare? It's a deal. Whoever doesn't show up is a dog. Woof woof. I don't like people who go back on their word. All right, go home. I'll send someone to pick you up on the day of the Kuja match. Being escorted out like this, it was hard to refuse, yes. Her figure disappeared behind the door, and the smile on his face slowly faded. Chun Mo saw the lovesick look on his master's face and advised him to get married soon so the staff could dress up nicely for the wedding. Master, you seem to care a lot about Second Miss Zhao. Won't you consider it? You've been alone for so long. It's time to find someone to accompany you. But the boss had never considered it. Are you that idle? Master, we subordinates all wish for you to have a better life. He meant well with his reminder, but unfortunately, he couldn't do it. She's not suitable. This confused him. A beauty offers herself up, and you say she's not suitable? But this subordinate thinks she's very good. Marrying him would be no different from being a widow, with no children and no real marital relations, only pure emotion. He didn't want to subject her to the fate of a marriage in name only. The glory of the palace was waiting for her to enjoy. It's not that she's not good, but that she's not suitable. Someone qualified to be an empress, yet to be a parrot-eating partner with a eunuch. Even if Zhao Yuanqing agreed, would the Zhao family agree? This apprentice is more worried about the girl than you are. Just because you don't like her, yet you like to flirt with her, if word gets out, it will be hard for her to marry in the future. Exactly. So why do you still see her? Her being so close to you will affect her reputation, making it hard for her to marry in the future. Whether she can get married or not has nothing to do with me. I'm busy worrying about my own workshop and myself. I don't have time to care about a girl who insists on getting involved with me. The boss heartlessly ignores her, ruins an innocent girl's reputation, and then shirks responsibility. Master, you really do as you please. Ah, now the employee dares to argue with the boss. Get ready for a pay cut this month. Oh, you have an opinion? I wouldn't dare. The boss is threatening me. How would I dare to talk back? On the way home, he made her feel a bit heartbroken. Last time she proposed and was rejected, but this time he took the initiative to ask her out. This Kuja match is a major event in the capital's aristocratic circles. Is Zhuang Qiu asking me to go with him to tell everyone that our relationship is unusual? I don't care, but why is he doing this? Seeing his granddaughter return to the manor, her grandfather beckoned her over, wanting to tell her about some outrageous rumors from the palace. Zhao Yuanqing, you're back. Something major happened at court today. Only in this peaceful place did she dare to reveal her childish side, acting spoiled with him. Grandfather, hurry and tell me. After tea, the two of them sat down to whisper about court affairs. This morning, a body in an Eastern Depot uniform was found in the outskirts. Upon examination, it was one of Zhuang Li's personal guards. After the morning court session, Emperor Mingyan summoned everyone to the imperial study to discuss the matter. While they were discussing official business, a commotion suddenly erupted outside the imperial study. Since the matter involved that god of death, he certainly wouldn't let it go. He stormed in with a dark face, completely ignoring the guards trying to stop him. Lord Zhuang, His Majesty is in a meeting with the ministers. Please wait outside to be announced. Forcing your way in like this is against the rules. Seeing him enter, Emperor Ming and put on a smile to greet him. What's wrong, Lord Zhuang? What matter has you in such a hurry? I had an inauspicious dream, and you, the instigator, know exactly why. Why ask when you already know? So hypocritical. What dream has you so worried that you would barge in? The ruler and his subject, mutually suspicious, were both putting on an act, neither giving the other any face, especially that god of death, who was a master of sarcasm, that I dreamt that your majesty's dragon body was unwell and that you had passed away. After I woke with a start, the dream felt so real that for a moment I couldn't tell if it was true or not. That's why I rushed here to see with my own eyes. Seeing that your majesty is safe and sound, I can finally rest assured. Your throne is stable for now, but whether it will still be yours in the future is uncertain. I'm warning you, the day of your demise is not far. I implore your majesty to take good care of your dragon body. The other ministers, displeased that he had burst in without being announced, saw one tactless official step forward to accuse him. Lord Zhuang, barging into the imperial study without being announced is an act of great disrespect. Do you think this is the Eastern Depot? His Majesty has not even reprimanded me. Yet you, a mere subject, intend to make decisions on his behalf? You speak of great disrespect, but I wonder who is being more disrespectful. That minister was rebuked into silence. Zhuang Li had skillfully turned the tables, immediately pointing the spear at this meddlesome fellow. Fearing the emperor's wrath, the minister immediately kowtowed to beg for forgiveness. Your Majesty, that is not what this humble servant meant. Your Majesty, spare my life. The Grand Tutor was stunned by what he had witnessed. This is the first time I've ever seen Zhuang Li act like this. So after leaving the palace, I sent people to investigate. If it were just that guard who died, it would be one thing. It could be blamed on some strange assassin. But his death is what makes everything so tricky. What's so different about killing an Eastern Depot guard? First, the state of the body was horrific. Second, he was carrying a peculiar token of unknown origin. Was the one who accused Zhuang Li in the hall Lord Shuai? The first person to speak up had instead become the biggest suspect. You're right about everything. You witnessed the whole process, so of course you know it all. That's why he invited me to watch the Kuja match. He's involved in this, so he has to make a trip himself to intimidate them. I see. This year's Kuju tournament is hosted by the Su family. Zhuang Li has probably figured out that the body is connected to Emperor Mingyan, but what happened that made him rush into the imperial study in such a hurry? It was because of Lord Shuai's words that Zhuang Li decided to go see the Kuja match in a few days. She gave a scornful smile. These powerful figures in the palace, scheming and fighting against each other. The real show was just beginning. But attending the match this time would be anything but simple. Moreover, not just the Shuai family, but people from Duke Qingyuan's residence would also be there, which means I'll see Su Qing again. A golden opportunity for revenge. I will never let go of those who cost me my life. I don't like Emperor Mingyan, but the ones I hate the most are Zhao Sulan and Su Qing. Zhao Sulan has already suffered at my hands once. But as for Su Qing, this time I'm going to give him a big gift. That little schemer should get a taste of his own medicine. In a flash, the day of the Kuju match arrived. The old madam of the manor was instructing her granddaughters, a scene much like a gathering of the young ladies in Dream of the Red Chamber. This isn't your first time watching Kuju, but this year is different. The imperial selection is imminent, so you must mind your words and actions. The old madam is right. Second sister, a tender, childish voice caught her attention. It was her beloved little sister, Xinyan, Zhao Yuanqing. She ran towards her, her smile as bright as the summer sun. Yuanqing, why are you running in such a hurry? Did you think I wouldn't wait for you? This little sister was the best at sweet talk. That I just missed you so much, sister. Ever since the imperial selection began, you've been so busy, and mother wouldn't let me see you. This adorable little sister was full of curiosity about her sister's love life, and, without a second thought, immediately asked her if the man walking towards her was handsome. Second sister, is Lord Zhuang really that good-looking? Yes, he's very good-looking. This personality of being a sucker for a pretty face clearly hadn't changed a bit after her rebirth. Then she asked about his character. Then does he eat people? Eat people? How many tales of a strange and supernatural has my little sister been reading? The question was so funny, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Seeing her sister tease her like this, the younger sister playfully shook her arm. Second sister, don't laugh at me. All right, I won't laugh at you, I won't. Second sister, fourth sister. More trouble arrived, interrupting the sister's fun. Second sister, are you going to the Kuja match too? Can I go with you? Look at your sister's face, read her mood, and see if she'll let you go. Zhao Salon, what are you plotting now? Do you think I, your sister, don't know your nature? Acting so chummy and wanting to go with me. You must have some complicated plan. Honestly, she was determined to shake off this sister she clearly couldn't stand. Failing to get her way, she threw a tantrum, all her schemes ruined because her sister said no. It had to be admitted, the Zhao Yuanqing of today was a completely different person. It was time for a new strategy. A beauty's tears could soften any hero's heart, but this one wasn't beautiful, yet she still wanted to use that poor me act to make her sister feel guilty. Are you still mad at me? I was wrong last time. I'm sorry, second sister. For the sake of our sisterly bond, can't you forgive me? She called her sister over and over, as if she had never schemed and backstabbed her. She wasn't buying it. She directly shook off that little hand and warned, "Don't come to me with this sisterly bond nonsense. When did that ever exist? How come I, your dear lady, never knew we were blood sister besties?" Zhao Yuanqing sneered, seeing through her sister's two-faced act, hurting someone and then begging for forgiveness. She was just like a microwave, forgetting the pain as soon as the scar healed. How many more times must you humiliate yourself before you learn your lesson? This blatant darkness stunned her sister. Second sister, you just want to know who I'm going to see, don't you? I'm going to see Zhuang Li. Do whatever you want. I have my patron to back me up. I'm not afraid of your little tricks. Go ahead, try to act tough in front of him. See how he deals with you. My sister has landed a high-quality connection while I'm still a nobody. How can I not be so jealous that I'm grinding my teeth and about to bite through my handkerchief? Zhuang Li, Xuan has everything. Why does even that uniqueness have to be on her side? It's just that no one dared to do it before, and because Xuan did, Zhuang Li gave her a bit of face. What she can't have, she must destroy. I must put on my sister's old aloof and arrogant act to show that my charm can be bewitching. What Xuan can do, Zhao Sulan can do too. Blue sky, white clouds, golden sunlight. Will you grant me the honor of your presence today? First, I need to put on some first love makeup. Miss, Lord Zhuang has come personally. He's standing right outside the gate. He came personally? She hadn't expected him to be so considerate. She thought he would just send a carriage, but she didn't expect him to give her so much face by coming to the door himself to invite her. Yes, a servant just reported it. I invited Lord Zhuang to come in, but he said he would wait outside. He said he's waiting for you, Mississippi. The messenger looked like he was about to faint. I made things difficult for them. Forget the white moonlight look. I'll go for something gentle and pure, so I don't look too pale. I need to hurry and not keep Lord Zhuang waiting too long. Yes, waiting for his lady to do her makeup is a long process. He was sipping hot tea in the carriage when he heard a voice outside. I.S. Lord Zhuang in the carriage. It wasn't the woman he was longing for, but some delicate little thing who had appeared out of nowhere, swaggering towards the carriage as if it belonged to her family. So what if he's a eunuch? If I can get Zhuang Li's help, who do I have to fear? Zhao Yuanqing. If Zhuang Li could help Emperor Ming and ascend the throne, can I be supported to become the empress? She pictured a scene of seducing the most powerful eunuch in the palace. The moment you meet me, you'll surely be mine. An Eastern Depot guard blocked her way. Unauthorized personnel are not to approach. She tried to use the Zhao family name to get the eunuch's attention and get closer to him. Why do I need to be announced? I am the third miss of the Zhao family. Is Lord Zhuang in the carriage? He saw someone causing a scene outside, disturbing his peaceful tea time, and lifted the curtain to see who was so bold. The third miss of the Zhao family? What's going on here? She was beautifully dressed today, and, with gentle and charming words, she curtsied to him, hoping to leave an excellent first impression on Zhuang Li. This humble girl has long admired Lord Zhuang. Hearing you were here today, I came specially to pay my respects. Please forgive my impertinence for disturbing your peace. My sister is vicious to everyone, but the moment she sees a handsome man, she's all sweet talk. Oh, admire my ruthlessness? Heard I drink human blood and eat children. So you came to learn a thing or two. I can see right through this girl's act. What normal person would like a murderer like me? She has a taste for the dark side, Lord Zhuang jests. Those are merely fabrications by the jealous. I know you are not that kind of person at all. If you always think the world is bright and sunny, you won't live long, young lady. No, you're wrong. I am exactly that kind of person. If she doesn't believe it, these bloodshot eyes can tell her of my atrocities. Though you're not as beautiful as your sister, you are still quite pretty. If I were to peel off your skin and make it into a human skin lantern to hang before my Eastern Depot gates, it would surely be a pleasing sight. A demon in human skin. She couldn't possibly imagine it. He regarded human life as nothing. He must be joking, right? This novice had no idea how addictive the pleasure derived from evil could be, especially this game of skinning. Zhuang Li wanted to give it a try. to let her know that the key to making a human skin lantern is that the skin must be peeled while the person is still alive, so that it remains tight and vibrant. More importantly, to prevent them from fainting midway, you have to sprinkle salt on the wound. If you encounter a skilled craftsman, the skin can be peeled off cleanly within an hour. Since she likes to play dangerous games, I'm more than happy to play along and arrange everything. Since the third miss is so willing, this lord will certainly grant your wish. Men, take the third miss away. Remember to be quick about it. Don't let her suffer too much. I do what I say, never procrastinating. Third miss this way, please. This true story was too terrifying. She had no way out. Let go of me. I'm not going. Someone help. Her screams were ignored. Luckily, Yuanqing had just finished her makeup and came out to see her sister's frantic scene. Zhao Yuanqing, was she really foolish enough to provoke Zhuang Li? Your beauty is so dazzling, like an angel, that I can't help but look back. What a great show, just missing an audience. So he invited her to watch with him. Honestly, second Miss Zhao, your sincerity can't compare to your sister's. Look, this young lady even volunteered to come to my place to be made into a human skin lantern. It seems that death as light as a feather is true after all. She didn't know whether to praise him or roast him. To be honest, I can't figure out if Zhao Yuanqing is fearlessly stupid or if Zhuang Li really has such a twisted hobby. Second sister, save me. Seeing her sister, she burst into tears, crying for help. Sisterly affection, can it really last? He wanted to test whether she loved her sister more or hated her more. Second Miss Zhao, are you going to save her? Who has time to care about someone they dislike? She was busy going to a lantern festival with the most handsome man in the capital that I've made Lord Zhuang wait. I am ready now, we can go. What he liked most about her was, in fact, this indifference. Get in the carriage. She turned around without a single glance at her sister who was struggling in the arms of two tall, handsome young men. Zhao Yuanqing, scream all you want. Your little life isn't worth much. But she hated her sister for not lifting a finger to save her, for letting her die. Fine, Zhao Yuanqing, you watch me die and do nothing. As soon as the carriage left, the two guards roughly let go, dropping her to the ground. You bastard, Zhao Yuanqing, I'll never forgive you. She was mad with rage for failing to snatch her sister's man, and even more for him humiliating her in public while her sister abandoned her. She watched the carriage drive away, speechless with anger. Inside the carriage, the two chatted intimately. Second Miss, Zhao doesn't seem to care about your sister at all. Will Lord Zhuang kill her? No, the Zhao clan's power is on par with mine. How would I dare to kill someone without reason? Hearing this, she breathed a sigh of relief. She wouldn't have to bother saving her sister. Since Lord Zhuang doesn't plan to kill her, why should I make an unnecessary move? Facing him, she wasn't worried he would harm her family. She understood him. He only liked to play mind games, not necessarily act on them. If Zhao Yuanqing had offended someone else, I might have helped her for the sake of the Zhao family's reputation. But if it's Zhuang Li, rest assured, we'll just say Zhuang Li has always been eccentric, and Zhao Yuanqing was taken away by a man, so no one will blame the Zhao family. So, this is how you love someone, Heavens, what kind of earth-shattering statement was that? Lord Zhuang, what on earth do you mean? He held her heart in his hand. This matter would definitely not end here. You don't care about my reputation at all, not even bothering to resolve the conflict between you and your sister. Outsiders will just say, I bullied a young lady of the Zhao family without reason. This guy could read women like an open book. Then he pouted playfully. You say you love me and cherish me, but you don't care about me at all. So this is what a girl's heart is like. I can't love you enough. How could I dare not care about you? Lord Zhuang, you've misunderstood. I simply thought you liked others to cherish you, so I just went along with it. Only sweet words could quell his feigned anger. In that case, this lord should thank you, Mississippi. Not at all. You flatter me. I don't deserve it. From now on, she had to find a way to hide her true feelings. He saw through all her thoughts. She would have to be more careful in the future. Lord Zhuang, we've arrived. She sat in the carriage, waiting for him to get off first. Then she got off, but the young man was so considerate, it stunned her for a full 3 seconds. A hand reached out, politely inviting her to alight. She looked at that warm hand, guessing that their feelings for each other were no longer those of strangers meeting for the first time. Was Zhuang Li being so openly intimate to let others know that her one-sided crush had become mutual affection? Who knew what kind of trouble Emperor Ming and would stir up now? Ignoring the gossip, we smiled at each other in the cool breeze, our eyes no longer hiding our feelings for one another. Their hands intertwined, and he caressed her slender hand, remarking, "This is the first time this lord has held a young lady's hand," accompanied by god-tier sweet talk that no one could match. It showcased the lord's unparalleled romance. I wonder if all the young ladies in the world are as warm, fragrant, and soft as second Miss Zhao. Her heart skipped a beat hearing this. Was it because she was too deep in character, or had feelings truly taken root? Wait, was I just flirted with by a eunuch? Just as the two were intimately holding hands, their affection at its peak, someone came to ruin this lovey-dovey atmosphere. I was not aware of Lord Zhuang's esteemed presence and failed to welcome you. I hope you will forgive me. He hadn't had his fill of holding the beauty's soft hand and now exuded a terrifying murderous aura, while she was so embarrassed she could die and could only pull her hand back. Master Ji was sweating cold bullets. He had welcomed the god of death into his home for no reason, and worse, an uninvited one. If he asked him to leave, he'd surely be meeting King Yama tomorrow. But if he invited him in, there was no place for him. It was strange. No invitation was sent to him last year or this year. The seats were all arranged. Now that Zhuang Li had suddenly appeared, where should he be seated? He was the type who didn't care where he went, as long as there was an empty spot to enjoy the view. It no matter. This lord is merely accompanying second Miss Zhao to watch the fun today. I'm in a good mood today. I won't make things difficult for the Zhang family. Second Miss Zhao, how about we go over there? Usually I'm swamped with work, but today is special. What could be better than coming out to see the sports festival with Yuanqing? Usually when we meet it's for gossip, but this time it's a secret romance. Yes, seeing him was like being overshadowed by the Grim Reaper. The slightest mistake in word or expression, and the other party would surely be displeased. Lord Zhuang, this subordinate has prepared a seat with a better view for you. Please follow me. Fortunately, it was just moving 2 seats, not too difficult to adjust. That day, the Kuju field was already set up, waiting for the robust young men to compete. This way, you two. She and he had already gone upstairs, admiring the view below, but I don't like the view here. If I'm going to choose, it has to be a panoramic view, not blurry like a low-res porno. And it must be close to the Zhao family. This lord is accompanying second Miss Zhao today. If the Zhao family seats are too far, she won't be able to chat with her sisters. His awe-inspiring thoughtfulness completely flustered second Master Ji. His word was law, and second Master Ji dared not object. This subordinate will immediately arrange for all of the Zhao family's seats to be near Lord Zhuang. How's that sound? Oh, don't agree so easily. I have more hardcore requests. Besides her family sisters, there are also her close friends she's known for a while, and her maternal relatives, who probably haven't seen her in a long time either, right? Yes, the back and forth questioning between the two was enough to make his head spin. This subordinate understands and will certainly make satisfactory arrangements. So this whole act was real, just like a scene from a TV drama. The couple flirted, saying little to each other, but understanding each other perfectly. Second Miss Zhao, let's go over there first. All right, I'll go home with you now and be your wife. The entire venue was in chaos, just to create a private space for those two. Quick, move those seats over there. Move the Liao family's seats to the back, and move the general's seat to the left. The original seating arrangement was completely disrupted, everyone making way for the couple's performance. She was in awe of his cold, obsidian-sharp aura, which could shake countless people with a single sentence. Zhuang Li didn't even need to lift a finger. A few words were enough to send the Xie family scrambling. He was indeed not easy to deal with. Lord Zhuang, you didn't come here today just for these trivial matters, did you? She asked softly, covering her mouth with her fan. If there was going to be some last-minute penalty kick or equalizer, she needed to know how to handle his unexpected moves. If it's something big, at least let me prepare. Look at my trustworthy face. I swear I won't do anything. This lord is just here to watch the Kuja match. What could I possibly do? Second Miss Zhao, you're overthinking it. You're beautiful, but a bit slow. Smart people always speak ambiguously, you know? Haha, you're right. I'm not falling for a scoundrel like you. She couldn't beat around the bush with him anymore, stating directly that she was timid, prone to heart attacks, and couldn't handle intense games. I'm just afraid I won't be able to keep up with Lord Zhuang's next act. My power has never harmed the innocent, let alone you, whom I fully support. I won't let you be wronged. Rest assured, this lord trusts the tacit understanding between us. Besides, it's no fun to know things in advance. A mystery is always a mystery. Who says drawing the worst fortune stick lets you know everything beforehand? It seemed he had no intention of explaining it all. His reputation was real, but he was being so vague. If he forgot his lines later, she was afraid she'd have to improvise. In an instant, the upper floor was filled with the chatter and laughter of the young ladies from various noble families. Her annoying little sister had also come, annoying her to death, making even the Kuju match seem boring. She was really like a piece of clingy dogskin plaster, impossible to shake off. Meanwhile, the two sisters of the Fu family were whispering, "Lulu Lai. Everyone says Lord Zhuang is terrifying, but looking at him, I think he's very good to Yuanqing. If she can get his help when she enters the palace, she's really going to soar. Thanks to your jinxing mouth, little sister, I'm reminded of my old grudge. Zhao Yuanqing ruined my chances of entering the palace, yet she's climbing up so fast herself." The sight of these two groups chatting happily was very displeasing to some. "Let's go, Miss Yuanqing. Let's go find her." Seeing a friend was just an excuse. The truth was to expose her friend's shortcomings in front of her crush. Even if she couldn't get close to Zhuang Li, it would be good to make him have a bad impression of Zhao Yuanqing. Alas, women are truly the root of suffering, hurting each other out of jealousy and envy their whole lives. The commandant reminded her, "Your best friends are coming to find you. It's probably not for anything good. My best friends are here." The supporting cast is assembled, and the grand play is ready. Today, Lord Zhuang Li brought me here to watch a play, and even built such a grand stage for me personally. With the director himself on set to guide the performance, it's about time you showed off what you've learned, isn't it? Since second Miss Zhao is so devoted to me, the Governor General, I'm sure you wouldn't mind performing a play for me, would you? After all, my play is the grand finale. Naturally, it's best saved for last. So, you're saying we're changing the opening act? She lowered her eyes, seeing through the man's intentions. This fellow, his every move, whether sitting or standing, is a calculation. Every step is meticulously planned. Not a single move is wasted. My best friend is being blocked at the door. Lord Zhuang prefers quiet. Unauthorized personnel are not permitted inside. With my best friend's pass, what's so difficult about it? I'm a Miss Fu, a friend of Miss Zhao inside. Yuanqing, a friend has come from afar. You should go out and greet her first. I like to ask my husband what play he wants his wife to perform, so I can cooperate accordingly. Since Lord Zhuang wants to see a play, this humble lady will naturally put on a clumsy performance. I just hope you won't find it dull. Hearing her mention performing, he smiled until his eyes curved. Your sentiment is enough. There's no need for formalities. Whatever second Miss Zhao performs, this Governor General will like it. That smiling gaze startled her, and she almost lost her grip. You have peculiar tastes. She suddenly rolled her eyes in disdain. Let him guess if he wants to. I'm not going to tell him what I'm thinking. This fellow was wrapped around a woman's finger, experiencing for the first time that kind of love filled with anxiety over potential loss and gain. When I first met Zhao Yuanqing, she was still reserved and polite. Now she even dares to glare at me. I might as well pull out my apprentice, Chen Mo, and vent about the sorrows of my secret love, just to make myself feel a little better. Chen Mo, do you think I'm too benevolent? When the boss performs, the employees applaud. You can't very well say the boss is cruel, can you? Lord Zhuang is the most benevolent person in the world. Indeed, this Governor General is too magnanimous. How could he hide that gaze, which was 7 parts doting and 3 parts treating her as an equal? My heart is about to leap out of my chest for you. Yuanqing's cheeks grew hot under his stare. Shameless. The best friend she had been waiting for finally appeared, still waving, asking her to let her in for a chat. Yuanqing, can you let me in for a bit? I haven't seen you in so long. There's something I want to tell you. They only listen to Lord Zhuang's orders. How could I possibly command them? I'm merely a fortunate one he has taken a fancy to and keeps by his side. I have no right to order the servants or guards in his residence. She's using this as an excuse to make things difficult for her friend. Then can't you just put in a good word with Lord Zhuang? How could a man of such high status and power possibly listen to the words of a humble woman like me? Besides, it's not like everyone doesn't know what kind of person he is. How could a weak little woman like me, who speaks in a soft, quiet voice, possibly help a friend? How could I possibly say such a thing to him? It's not like you haven't heard the rumors about him outside. The truth is, if it's someone I don't like, they can forget about disturbing this rare moment of pleasure between me and my beloved. In the past, I might have introduced Fu Luoli, but I'm not that foolish anymore. Not only do you not help your friend, you mock her instead. What's there to be so proud of? The eldest Miss Fu isn't as sensible as the second miss. She turned and left, leaving her younger sister to clean up her mess. Luoli just has that temper. Yuanqing, don't blame her. I'm leaving first. What's so strange about polite people having a chat? To think she's overusing his reputation to this extent. At the slightest opportunity, a flock of girls swarms my beloved like ornamental fish. What on earth are those people thinking, throwing themselves at Lord Zhuang one after another? After such a huge fight, she still wants to use my name to see Zhuang Li. She's dreaming a beautiful dream, but unfortunately, it's not real. Are they crazy, or do they think I, Zhao Yuanqing, have a problem with my head? She shook her head, finding the human heart increasingly incomprehensible. I can recite psychological theories backwards and forwards, but my practical application is only at 30%. It's all because the human heart and worldly affairs flow with fate. The older sister breathed a sigh of relief, but the younger sister's face was wrinkled like a dried date. That probably wasn't just a casual cough. Trying to blame what happened at the door on me again? Each person should sweep the snow from their own doorstep and not worry about the frost on others' roofs. In this residence, it's all just superficial effort. Why bother with sincerity? But it doesn't matter. The real show is just beginning. Zhao Salon really couldn't sit still. The emperor has arrived. She froze, not expecting such an esteemed personage to appear at this kind of occasion. The supreme and revered one walked solemnly, step by step, into the upper private room. Attendants flocked behind him, clearing a path on both sides for the son of heaven. No one dared to cross the line. Emperor Mingyan, he came too. I knew Xu Feng liked to play big, but I never thought he'd even dare to provoke the emperor and even arrange a three-way confrontation with the main characters of the hottest drama in the capital right now. So, this play of Zhuang Li's was meant for Emperor Mingyan. The rumors about me, Zhuang Li, and Emperor Mingyan have been flying wildly, and now the three main characters have finally met. Disaster is imminent, yet he's still leisurely sipping his wine, as if he himself were the play. Lord Zhuang, the scale of your play today is truly grand. A love triangle with spectacular internal strife. If any of the three were missing, it would just be a petty squabble between two people. No wonder Zhuang Li insisted I come. This play wouldn't work without me. Accompanying a ruler is like accompanying a tiger. But since you both have a hobby of pulling a tiger's teeth, what is there to be afraid of? Isn't this exactly what second Miss Zhao wants? You've misunderstood me. I usually only dare to make small moves behind his back, but you dare to say it openly in front of everyone. I can't keep up. This humble lady doesn't have Lord Zhuang's courage. Although I want to pressure Emperor Mingyan, I don't dare to provoke him publicly either. Zhuang Li gave a cunning smile. I'm the main character in this play. You just need to get into character a little and add some spice. Leave the rest to me. You just wait and watch the show. His Majesty has personally graced the Kuju field. Second Master, Zhu, naturally came to welcome him. Your humble servant greets your Majesty. He forced a smile, but his heart was weeping a river of tears. Two feuding titans have arrived at the same time. I'm done for. Zhuang Li has already taken the best spot. Where am I supposed to seat the emperor? Master Zhu, dispense with the formalities. The emperor said, men are all just children who never grow up. Although I am the supreme ruler, I still enjoy the sports of my childhood. So even though I'm busy with state affairs, I often come here. In my early years as a prince, I often came to watch Kuju. Now that I am emperor, I must naturally come join in the fun. You need not be so formal. Be at ease. Why are you two both saying in unison that you're just here for the fun and to be casual? You've scared Second Master Zhu half to death. Yes, your Majesty. Fearing that the Emperor's enemy present here would displease his Majesty, he deliberately lowered his voice to ask for an opinion. Your Majesty, Lord Zhuang is also here. Is there a need to announce your presence? Hearing his rival's name, his expression changed instantly. Though his smile didn't falter, a murderous aura erupted from him. Lord Zhuang is here too. There's no need. I will go meet him myself. To be the emperor, yet be viewed with such wariness by the god of war, it's not a pleasant feeling. How ridiculous. With his personality, even if he were announced, he would just smile and remain seated. I don't want to lose face in front of everyone. This way, your Majesty. The second master was already drenched in sweat. It was hot outside, but a chill seemed to emanate from somewhere. Wherever His Majesty passed, everyone rose to bow. Your Your humble servant greets your majesty. Except for that one table in the corner, which paid no mind to his arrival, pretending not to see the grand spectacle. Zhuang Li was definitely doing it on purpose. Even his sanctimonious appearance couldn't hide his hatred for the god of war. That man, surnamed Zhuang, the Zhao girl, is flirting with Governor General Zhuang Li again. To onlookers, this scene was both jarring and offensive. All the officials were paying their respects to his majesty, yet the Governor General was still flirting with a beauty, completely ignoring the emperor's signature smile. Remember to tell me the rules of Kuju later. Seething with anger, yet not daring to let his smile drop. The emperor, mindful of his status, spoke first. Lord Zhuang is also in the mood to join the fun today. You're getting more and more audacious. If you won't pay your respects, I'll do it for you, just to appease him. This common girl greets your majesty. May your majesty live 10,000 years and enjoy sacred health. Dispense with the formalities. Let's skip the pleasantries. It's time for the leading man and a minor male character to flatter each other. Oh, your majesty is here too. Indeed, it seems Lord Zhuang and I were of the same mind today. Usually, our relationship is poles apart, not all the same. I have my own style, guaranteed to be different. Anyone who's scared can go home. Today you are with second Miss Zhao, concubine Zhao. One is happy, and two are smitten with you. I returned a friendly smile, but in my heart, the first shot had been fired. You may want to provoke Emperor Mingyan, but aren't you just directing the hatred towards me? Enough idle talk. The match is about to begin. As the emperor, I can't lose my composure in public. After all, my main purpose in coming here is to watch Kuju. 2 chairs were placed side by side in the main hall, demonstrating his status as an equal to the Son of Heaven. Today, outside the palace, we shall dispense with formalities. Lord Zhuang, sit with me. Since you've said so, I can only respectfully obey. The Kuju match officially began. On the field, robust young men fiercely vied for the leather ball. Upstairs, the young couple were being lovey-dovey, feeding each other. Second Miss Zhao, this pastry is delicious. You try some. Seeing him so open, her heart was filled with joy, yet she felt that being so public would attract criticism. Thank you, Lord Zhuang. You're thanking me before your fingers have even touched the pastry. I don't like it. Why won't second Miss Zhao eat? Are you looking down on this eunuch? Forced by him, she had no choice but to take a reluctant bite, and even praised it to make him happy. It really is delicious. She thought, my acting as the lover in your heart has already made that guy in the dragon robes furious. If second Miss Zhao likes it, then have some more. This public display of affection is top tier. The Son of Heaven lost his composure for a moment. His hand trembled, tightening its grip on the teacup, unable to swallow. He ignored the silent curses of the person beside him and innocently asked her about the game. Second Miss Zhao, I have never watched Kuju and don't know the rules. Would you be so kind as to explain them to me? Watching the consort he had chosen be snatched away by a eunuch, the Son of Heaven couldn't control the look of disgust on his face. Zhuang Li knows full well that Zhao Yuanqing is the imperial consort I have chosen. By doing this, isn't he cuckolding me? With me here, Miss Zhao need not worry herself. Go and chat with your sisters. You also know how to cherish a woman. Why trouble another man to worry about you? Then this common girl will take her leave. Finally, someone had come to her rescue. She also wanted to get away from this powder keg as quickly as possible. Although I want to cooperate with Zhuang Li, I can't afford to completely fall out with Emperor Mingyan right now. It's best to make a temporary retreat. See you later, she said it with her lips, but her heart was reluctant to part. Their eyes met, a look that conveyed more than 1,000 words. I have to slip away before he changes his mind. Call him heartless, but this woman is just the same. We agreed to act together, but she tucked her tail between her legs and slipped away. This little heartless thing, when she needs to use me, she publicly expresses her admiration. Now that I need her to cooperate, she abandons me. This is men's business. Women shouldn't interfere. They stared at each other without reservation. Since Lord Zhuang doesn't understand Kuju, why don't I find a suitable person to teach you? Thank you for your kind intentions, Your Majesty, but unfortunately, I'm not interested in men, nor am I interested in what other men have to say. But some things are only meaningful when said by a specific person. To dote on one's wife to this extent is just sickeningly sweet. You're really something, mocking the Son of Heaven without even blinking. The teacup in his hand must be suffering the most. Every time his anger flared, it was nearly crushed. Yuanqing went to her little fangirl sister's side. This girl was completely obsessed with looks, and her praise was even more sincere than her sister's. Second sister, Lord Zhuang, is so handsome. His Majesty is here. Watch what you say. Which family's girl is so shameless? Handsome. You can say that to me, but don't go spreading it around. Second sister, I understand. The Fu family's maid, Sanyang, came to report to her mistress. After hearing the news, she knew that the little fangirl sister was about to become another crazed fan. The empty table is also strange. Zhao Salon, that's right, she couldn't sit still. Now there's a good show to watch. Fu Luoli and Zhao Salon will be the first sacrifices to fall at her feet. For the grand play Lord Zhuang has prepared, I'll set up the appetizer. A cunning old fox in sheep's clothing. This time, I'm the director. I call the shots. I just hope Fu Luoli doesn't disappoint me. The person watching the play didn't even have a smile on her face, as if she had known all along that something was about to happen. Quick, tell me what happened. Seeing the maid's pale face, she knew something was wrong. She had to know what earth-shattering news it was. This servant didn't hear clearly, but there's something unclear between third Miss Zhao and heir apparent Su. Rumors can't be trusted, but this concerns her fiancé. She must find out where this vicious gossip came from. Where did you hear that? Today, when this servant went to fetch Mrs. Clothes, I happened to run into people from the Zhao family, and I accidentally overheard them talking. Two of the Zhao family's maids were secretly gossiping and giggling. The Fu family's maid inadvertently fell into their trap, deliberately hiding behind a pillar to eavesdrop. The story itself was enough to make her break out in a cold sweat. They said that third Miss Zhao had gone to meet heir apparent Su in private. What other meaning could there be for a respectable lady to send a letter to the heir apparent? For no reason at all. Fu Luoli's eyes blazed with fire, completely forgetting her ladylike demeanor. A person who had once made peace with her was now stabbing her in the back. That homewrecker dares to covet the position of the legal wife. What does she think she is, trying to snatch my position as the heir apparent's consort? Miss, this servant just saw third Miss Zhao and heir apparent Su go out. Could it be? How could she miss a single moment of such a good show? She had to follow them to the end and expose the true faces of that adulterous pair. Let's go and see, then we'll know. Golden sunlight sprinkled over countless flowers, each ray falling on the elegant tea house's upper floor, creating a scene of tranquility. Salon was whispering intimately with her friend's lover. That disgusting pair were holding hands, embracing, and anyone who didn't know better would think they were a match made in heaven. Heir apparent, have you been well lately? My darling. She pouted coquettishly, looking at him with the eyes of an innocent little bunny. Her words were laced with so much sugar, cloyingly sweet and intoxicating. Salon is not well. Sulan has been so wronged. Sulan misses the heir apparent so much. It's just a pity that the heir apparent is already engaged to Fu Luoli, so Sulan can only hide this longing in her heart. Men don't necessarily like upright and frank women, but they dote on the delicate and docile ones. It's all Fu Luoli's fault for forcing us into this situation. Don't cry. Your tears break my heart. Tears can win a hero's heart. No man would be cruel enough to let the woman he loves cry for him. She had already stolen Miss Fu's boyfriend, yet she feigned deep concern for her friend, claiming she wouldn't dare to ruin her friend's family. The heir apparent is about to marry Miss Fu. It's all Salon's fault. Heir apparent, you mustn't let this affect the marital affection between you and Miss Fu. This man was so fickle, abandoning his legal wife for that homewrecker. What marital affection is there between her and me? The only one I want to marry is Sulan. He passionately embraced the other woman, unaware that the girl only saw him as a pawn to elevate her future status. Men are so easy to deceive. If I can't win the Governor General's favor, then latching onto the heir apparent to become his consort isn't a bad alternative. A vicious kick slammed into the door. This young lady doesn't coddle anyone. She charged right in to catch them in the act. You slut. Fu Luoli slapped the homewrecker across the face. But Sulan had someone protect her, and Fu Luoli was pushed right back. To be humiliated in front of her fiancé, all because of a two-faced harlot with unclear intentions. How could she endure such a disgrace? Fu Luoli, are you insane? You two dare to fight the three of us? She had gone to great lengths to hire two tall, strong bodyguards, precisely to ensure she could get her revenge. You despicable couple. Did you think I, Fu Luoli, was easy to bully? Men, regardless of gender, tie them up for me. The muscles in her face twitched uncontrollably. When one's mind is clouded by rage, who can think rationally? Today, I'm going to teach them the basic principles of being a decent human being. That scoundrel heir apparent, Su had no other recourse but to use his status to pressure her. Let me go. I am the heir apparent of the Marquis of Qin Yuan's residence. I'm warning you, if you dare to touch Zhao Sulan, I will absolutely never let you set foot in my marquisate. Look at my face. Do you think I care? You think I want to marry into the Marquis of Qin Yuan's residence? Today, you two have utterly humiliated me. Whatever I do to you, you'll have to take it. This young lady doesn't care about the title of heir apparent's consort right now. This young lady is going to satisfy the rage you two have given me. Nothing else matters. She felt that just a beating wasn't as satisfying as humiliating them. So she ordered her 2 guards to strip them both naked, tie them together with a rope, and throw them out onto the street. Don't you two love each other so deeply? I'll grant your wish and let you be together forever. Don't touch me. For a woman, being touched by the hands of a strange man was a great humiliation. The second Miss Fu was stunned by her sister's extreme actions. How did it come to this? The maid who delivered the news never expected things to escalate this far. She had to find someone with more influence to mediate. Sanyang, what do we do? If this goes on, it'll become a huge incident. I'll go find Zhao Yuanqing for help. Second Miss Zhao is the daughter of the legal wife. Her influence is second only to the elders. She can definitely persuade her friend. Zhao Sulan is part of the Zhao family. Someone from the Zhao family has to step in and help. No sooner said than done. The young lady ran off to find that person. Yuanqing heard that her sister was about to be bullied by a slut and feigned shock. What? Sulan is entangled with heir apparent Su? Just putting on an act, lest others suspect I'm pulling the strings from behind. I probably know the inside story better than anyone. In fact, I know more about the whole situation than the third Miss Fu, concubine Zhao. I was the one who had the maid fan the flames to get things to this point. Miss, the news has been spread as you instructed, with something extra added to the tea. Watching a good show while sipping tea couldn't be more pleasant. Well done. That girl Luali has a fiery temper and has always been reckless. Now she's even ordered them to be stripped and paraded through the streets. The younger sister worries about her older sister's antisocial behavior. The older sister is desperately humiliating the cheating man, but at the same time, her own reputation is being dragged through the mud. It's a headache just thinking about it. What on earth are these lone wolves doing? Heavens, how could they do this? It's outrageous. She said this with her lips, but her heart was wildly dancing the cha-cha. I never thought my friend's revenge would be so satisfying. This is too gratifying. But Fu Luali's method of revenge is indeed cathartic. I have to turn my face away, lest the second Miss Fu over there sees my triumphant expression. The second Miss Fu is over there. Yuanqing, I could only think of asking you for help. As her younger sister, it's not my place to say much. I can only rely on close friends to help. I had planned to let things unfold as planned, but since this young lady has kindly invited me, it would be rude to ignore her. I'll go with you. We can't let Fu Luali make things worse. In the tea room, the two were left with only a few scraps of cloth. The man was stripped bare, and the second miss was also exposed down to her bustier and undergarments. In this era, this was an extreme humiliation. Miss Fu, I beg you, let me go. I was wrong. I truly won't dare to do it again. Please, spare me. Too late, sweetie. I do what I say I'll do, and I never go back on my word. Tie them up and throw them out onto the street. The adulterous couple, barely clothed, were tied together with almost nothing to cover them and dragged away by the 2 guards. Sulan was still stubbornly arguing with her, cursing that even if she were to meet Granny Meng, she would still hold a grudge against her. Fu Luali, if you have the guts, then kill me. Otherwise, as long as I'm alive, I will never forgive you. Let's see who's tougher. After this public humiliation, let's see if you still dare to hold your head high. Am I afraid of you? Zhao Sulan, we'll see about that. Let's see who forgives whom. Fu Luali, you're insane. I'm your fiancé. Fu Luali, I'll kill you. Let the idle gossip fly. It won't stop me from announcing the flesh of this talented scholar and beautiful lady to the world. The show was at its peak, but her sister came to stop her. Luali, what are you doing? Her friend also came to help persuade her. Luali, what's going on? Are you also here to laugh at me? Everyone here must be trying to stop her from carrying out justice. How can you all turn a blind eye to their affair? Yuanqing didn't say she was here to laugh at her friend's misfortune. On the contrary, she felt a sense of relief but she couldn't take pleasure in another's pain. She sincerely held her friend's hand and advised her to forgive the two fools. Luoli, what's the point of this suffering? The Zhao family is in the wrong for what happened today. I will report the matter of Zhao Sulan and Su Suqing clearly to the ancestors and my grandmother and give you a satisfactory resolution. Even though we were once enemies, you still value our years of friendship enough to help. Fu Luoli sensed the goodwill in her words and didn't want to blow things out of proportion. That I can forgive this today, but there will absolutely be no next time. A promise is a promise. Before leaving, she kindly reminded her of the viciousness of her family members. Handle the rest for me. It's fortunate we have second Miss Zhao's help. Otherwise, I, the second Miss of the Fu family, wouldn't know what to do. Yuanqing, thank you for your trouble. I'll go check on Fu Luoli. She must be heartbroken. It's the thought that counts. This matter also stems partly from your family, so you will naturally take responsibility. I understand, go on. Only after the three of them had left did she breathe a sigh of relief and begin to manage the scene. Mississippi. She instructed her maid to arrange everything properly. Don't let outsiders know too much. Lu Yin, evacuate all the guests from the tea house and have 2 carriages wait at the back door. Yes, she was determined to protect their reputations to the end, refusing to let them return naked amidst the malicious laughter of others. You two, go in and get that man into the carriage. Yes, the scumbag had to be sent back first. She would deal with the family matters later. Let go of me. The scumbag struggled as he was being forced into the carriage. In this naked state, just going outside was humiliating enough. Meeting her disdainful gaze, he panicked. Why did I have to run into her at this very moment? I can never show my face in public again. I took the joke too far and brought this humiliation upon myself. I acted on impulse without thinking of the consequences, and now I'm suffering for it. His face was beet red, and he didn't dare to meet her eyes. But she couldn't care less about the scumbag. After dealing with that guy, she went into the tea house to handle her naive sister. Her clothes were on the floor, and she hadn't put them back on, but crying naked would make her catch a cold. Not wanting to cause trouble for herself, she had no choice but to hand her the clothes. Put them on. We're going home. What's the use of crying when things have come to this? Take care of yourself first, then worry about wiping your tears. Who's going to pity a weeping girl? After being utterly humiliated before someone came to her rescue, she turned to blaming her sister for enjoying her own life, disregarding their sisterly bond. Why? Why didn't you come sooner? She thought, what kind of relationship do we have? It's already merciful of me to clean up your mess. Otherwise, I would have had you disposed of like trash long ago. Not letting you be utterly disgraced in front of everyone is the biggest concession I can make. You ruined me. Unable to accept such a devastating blow, she decided to attack her sister with all her might. With the footwork of a martial artist, she didn't let the unreasonable brute touch her in the slightest. Whoever did this bears the consequences. I wasn't involved in the first place. It was you. You ruined yourself. She turned and left, leaving her to wallow in her own misery that you're on your own. The sky was not beautiful today. If a person is sad, how can the scenery be pleasant? Her hand gently closed the door, returning the private space to the person inside to console herself. Sulan clutched the only piece of clothing on her body, tears streaming down her face. After the humiliation she had just endured, how did things turn out this way? Everything I have is ruined. Someone save me. I want to die. Her inner torment made her think of the most extreme solution, ending her own life to escape the torture that would likely haunt her for the rest of her days. Without much thought, she smashed a teacup on the floor, shattering it into pieces. That's right, I must die. I must die. The scent of death filled the air, but she couldn't find the courage to slit her wrist with a shard. But I don't dare. A desperate cry echoed in the room. An act of impulse, a lifetime of regret. This pain is self-inflicted, so I will bear the consequences. Ah, is it painful? Standing outside the door, Zhao Yuanqing listened to the agonized groans from within. But compared to my previous life, this is but a drop in the ocean. This bit of pain was nothing compared to the suffering she had endured in her past life. A suffering so deeply ingrained it would never be forgotten, even in death. Let her grieve to her heart's content. We have no obligation to interfere. Wait until she's more stable, then bring her back. Yes, the sunset that day was truly beautiful, and a cool breeze carried the news to the young man on the other side. How interesting. Listening to the drama she had orchestrated, he couldn't help but admire it as a masterpiece, and why wait for her good show was not in vain. This Zhao Yuanqing is becoming more and more fascinating. Sitting beside him, the emperor saw him smiling to himself like an artist and asked, "What's so funny? What has piqued Lord Zhuang's interest so?" His gaze turned cold, but I just find this Kuja match very interesting. This is a pleasure I must keep to myself. If others knew, I would lose the joy of appreciating the art. This answer greatly displeased the man on the dragon throne. As the son of heaven, to be looked down upon by a subject who deemed him unworthy of hearing the story, the hatred in his heart deepened. Zhuang Li's attitude is too perfunctory. TSK, one day, I will repay this arrogance tenfold. The Kuju match finally ended, and Emperor Mingyan returned to the palace amidst cheers. The road outside the marshal's manor was crowded with people seeing the imperial procession off to the capital. The saint has gone home, but the god lingers with the beauty. To take her there was to take her home that I wouldn't dare let her leave alone. Zhuang Li once again invited Zhao Yuanqing, preparing to escort her back to her manor. That day, the afterglow of the sunset fell upon the faces of the two sharing a carriage. Only after boarding the carriage did she dare to ask him, "What play were you staging today?" This humble girl is slow-witted and doesn't know what Lord Zhuang had prepared. "I only saw you sitting quietly the whole time and found it strange." This man usually loved watching fools make a scene, yet today, in the middle of a crowd, how could he bear to just sit and watch a ball game? I was waiting for Lord Zhuang to get angry, but it seems he only caused trouble for the marshal's family. My appearance also made Emperor Mingyan lose face, yet everything was calm. Zhuang Li can't be happy. He tilted his head at a 45-degree angle and smiled back at her. "What's your hurry? Today isn't over yet. The rest of the show is still long. Why watch a 10-minute play when you can watch one that lasts a lifetime?" She was all too familiar with his untamed nature. This man really knew how to stir people up. Zhuang Li was definitely targeting Emperor Mingyan, which was to her advantage. As for the rest, it didn't matter whether she knew or not. After chatting for a while, the carriage brought them home. "Lord Zhuang, we've arrived. Please take care, Lord Zhuang." Leaving the sunset behind, ending a nonsensical day, she went home to eat with her mother and then went to bed for a good night's sleep. Zhao Yuanqing. Suddenly, her concubine mother appeared from nowhere, shouting at her. She scolded her with harsh words, using the family situation to intimidate her the moment she returned home. "That I'm going to kill you," jumping out to accuse me and even wanting to kill me? A mere concubine of the Zhao manor dares to lecture the daughter of the main wife? Besides, this disaster was of her own making. What did I do? What Zhao Sulan suffered today, she brought upon herself. What does it have to do with me? She wouldn't listen, just wailed and screamed that I was a heartless beast who disregarded sisterly affection. "She's your own sister. Why didn't you help her? How could you be so cruel? You ruined Sulan. You ruined her. How dare she speak such nonsense? Did she have to see her daughter utterly humiliated to be satisfied?" Concubine 1. If I hadn't helped her, Fu Luoli would have stripped her naked and paraded her through the streets. But Fu Luoli is your friend, so you're not blameless either. She pointed at me and cursed, vowing to give me no peace. "Zhao Yuanqing, I curse you. I curse you with my life. May you die a terrible death. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't speak so carelessly." Nanny Shun, from the old madam's side, couldn't stand the piercing words any longer and slapped her across the face. "What is this madness? If you don't know how to speak, then shut your mouth." She stuffed a cloth into the mouth of the woman who was making a scene like a shrew in a market to stop her from spouting more nonsense. The nanny ordered the servants to lock up the mother and daughter, not allowing such filth that tarnished the Zhao family's name to run wild outside. Tie them up and take them to the ancestral hall. Lock them up with Zhao Sulan. After dealing with the two wretches, she turned to inform me to see the old madam of the manor to talk about today's events. "Second miss, don't take an outsider's words to heart. The old madam has ordered me to ask you to come over. Let's go." All right. The path into the manor was lonely, with only the shadows of the two girls on their way to see the most powerful person in the family. Inside, my parents were already sitting with the old madam. The old madam had heard about the disgraceful affair involving the concubine's daughter and was furious. She threw a teacup directly at her son to vent her anger. That good-for-nothing born of a concubine is ultimately unpresentable. I walked over to comfort my grandmother, my heart aching that she had to worry about my father's affairs at her age. Grandmother, don't be angry anymore. It's not worth ruining your health over this. My hands gently massaged her scalp to ease her worries. Indeed, only my granddaughter from the main line is so considerate of family matters. It's thanks to you. Otherwise, the Zhao family's reputation would have been ruined by that girl Zhao Sulan. This is what a granddaughter should do. She was angry at the mother and daughter, but even angrier at her own son for marrying such a useless woman. Our Zhao family provides them with the best food and drink, and this is how they repay us. Eldest son, and you don't cherish your own main wife, yet you're attracted to that kind of trash. After being scolded by his mother, the master lowered his head in shame. Mother, please say no more. Since it has already happened, the Marquis of Qingyuan's manor will naturally call off the engagement. As for the Fu family, although the young miss of the Fu family went a bit too far, thankfully she still showed some mercy, so I must also show my sincerity. He didn't dare to defy his mother, trying his best to resolve the matter peacefully to avoid offending the old matriarch. Hearing her son's reasonable words, she instructed her daughter-in-law to go to the Fu family tomorrow to apologize, lest they harbor suspicions that eldest daughter-in-law, you will personally visit the Fu family tomorrow, apologize, and see what the young miss of the Fu family intends. As you command, mother. Yes. Today's events had already taken too much of a toll on her spirit. Old and frail, she had no more energy to think about trivial matters. You are all dismissed. After speaking with the old madam, the whole family withdrew. The main wife blew up at her husband, blaming him for taking so many concubines without considering their character. Control your women. 3 large question marks appeared over the husband's head. Huh? Does that not include you? Put your wife on a pedestal, and you'll live forever. Trample your wife underfoot, and you'll be drawn and quartered. Ouch! A gentleman uses his words, not his fists. The husband's words had no effect on his wife, who came from a family of generals. The main wife warned him that if he couldn't control that woman, she would personally establish an autonomous region to manage her. Since mother has stepped in this time, I'll let it go. But if she dares to insult Yuanqing again, I'll tear her mouth apart. The main wife's cold, hard tone made him shrink back. She was just speaking out of anger. It's not that serious, is it? Tearing her mouth apart, that's a bit much. Are you speaking up for her? I will never let go of anyone who dares to touch the apple of my eye. She cursed my daughter. He had no choice but to massage his wife to soothe her anger, but still defended the concubine that she's not a goddess. How could a few words come true? Besides, haven't you always been against such beliefs? My dear, you're so magnanimous. Don't sweat the small stuff with that old hag. My wife is the most magnanimous of all, isn't she? The old master had to lay on the sweet talk like crazy. Anyone else would have told him to get lost long ago. The main wife scoffed at her two-faced husband, taunting him that if he dared ask her to forgive his concubine, would he dare to be celibate with her? Words don't count? Then I curse you to be impotent when you're with that concubine Wang. Honey, don't take it seriously, okay? I don't believe in superstitions at all. It's just nonsense. It probably can't hurt your fragile self-esteem, right? Zhao Yuanqing, let's go. Follow me, and try not to laugh at these two old folks arguing over such trivial matters. Girl, you're really something. I swear, after that wife-catcher-cheater drama that shocked the entire capital, everyone thought Fu Luoli would break off the engagement with the Marquis of Qingyuan's manor. But who knew that things would actually happen? Setting aside the clamor of the outside world, the atmosphere in the Zhao manor was as calm as ever. She was stunned to hear that her friend was getting married, and to a complete scumbag at that. Fu Luoli still agreed to marry Su Suqing. Unbelievable, right? Even I can't believe a girl would still marry the man who deliberately broke her heart. But there are two sides to every story. Although your friend is getting married, she has set very harsh conditions. If they don't agree, the groom's family loses face. If they agree, they have to abide by the extreme demands of that Fu family girl. However, Fu only laid down a long list of conditions for their young master to ensure the marriage could preserve everyone's dignity. The Marquis of Qingyuan's manor had no choice but to reluctantly accept. Pour me a cup of that fragrant morning dew tea. Good gossip must be paired with good tea to be savored. Mother, hurry up and tell me. Since my precious daughter wants to know, I'm happy to tell you. Fu Luoli demanded that Su Suqing not take any concubines within a year of marriage. and no concubine can get pregnant before Fu Luoli gives birth to the eldest son of the main wife. She also demanded to manage the household affairs after marrying into the Marquis of Qingyuan's manor, and the betrothal gifts must be doubled from the original amount. Yuanqing was happy for a friend upon hearing this. She was directly striking back at that scumbag. You can understand Fu Luoli's move. If she doesn't marry Su Suqing, it will be difficult for her to marry any higher. The position of young mistress is the best she can get. Besides the girl's dowry demands, I'm annoyed that they also made conditions for the Zhao family. It's infuriating. When I went to apologize, Fu Luoli demanded a promise from the Zhao family, saying it would be honored in the future. With such tactics, isn't she trying to tie the Zhao family to her? Let her be. Fu Luoli is definitely scheming, but the Zhao family's promise is her safety net. However, that promise probably can't be kept secret either. Compared to the conditions for the young master's family, the Zhao family keeping a promise is no big deal. She advised her mother to forget today's sorrows, for what's past is past, and now we should look to the future. It's all right, she won't cause any trouble. The most important thing now is entering the palace. The grand selection is imminent, and all your preparations up to now cannot be in vain. A few days later, the grand selection began. All the noble young ladies of the capital would flock to it. They would live in the palace for a period, learning court etiquette and waiting for the day of the grand selection to pay their respects to Emperor Mingyan in the main hall. In front of the palace gates, a crowd of people had gathered, all mothers sending their daughters to compete for the position of imperial concubine. Your family was the same. Your mother personally sent you, holding your hand, reluctant to let go of the daughter she had raised for so many years. Yuanqing. She was also afraid to leave her mother, but she was certain that the scheme she had set up with the eunuch last time would ensure no one would want to let in someone who had been intimate with a man outside the palace. Because of this matter with Zhuang Li, there was an 80 to 90% chance that Emperor Mingyan would give up the idea of having her enter the palace. Just think of it as going through the motions. I'll be back to accompany you in a few days, mother. But your mother was still worried because she didn't know the final outcome, didn't know if her daughter could ever return to her side. The two embraced and parted, the bond of family hard to sever. She would definitely find a way to return home. Mother, don't worry. The mother shed tears for her daughter, only able to say a word of comfort. All right, remember to take care of yourself. The meridian gate appeared before her, and the small girl walked in bravely, without hesitation. This time, she was walking a completely different path. Unlike my past life, in this life, I will control my own destiny. She fearlessly stepped through the gates of the deep palace, a path from which there might be no return, but she had already chosen to walk another road. So even if this path wanted to keep her, it would be in vain. All the candidates entering the palace must obey the teachings of the most senior matron in the palace. Your ladyships, I am Matron Li of Chiwu Palace. From now on, I will be in charge of your arrangements here. If you have any questions, you can ask me at any time. As soon as they entered the palace, she taught them the first lesson of being a concubine. Learn to speak with propriety. Today is your first day in the palace. The first thing I will teach you is to know how to guard your tongue and be cautious in your words and actions. Her stern gaze was chilling. A wrong word could cost you your life. This place is different from the outside. From now on, all those habits from the outside must be changed. She listened to these doctrines, feeling utterly bored. Seriously, haven't the lessons been updated? Can't they be less soporific? As the candidates were walking, the matron suddenly told them to stop because a great personage was about to pass. Stop. Lower your heads. The only person who could have such a tense aura must be him. The god of slaughter, Zhuang Li, sat majestically in a sedan chair carried by 6 men, a golden canopy completely shielding him, so neither wind nor sun could touch his face and head. Seeing his handsome, imposing, and powerful appearance, the girls began to whisper among themselves. How magnificent! Who is that? These newcomers really don't know the rules. The first lesson was about speaking, yet you're all chattering away. Too much talk. Guard your tongues. She could forgive those who didn't know who he was, but most of the girls who knew the Grand Commandant's reputation remained silent or looked fearful as his figure passed by. Stop! He spotted a familiar figure in the crowd and ordered the sedan to halt, startling her. What is he up to now? His signature, Gucci-style smile bloomed only for her, never fading. His usually frosty face melted into a sky full of warmth and gentleness upon seeing her. Second Miss Zhao, what a coincidence. Greetings, Grand Commandant Zhuang. Out of courtesy, she also returned a pleasant smile. Meeting the woman of his heart again was no coincidence. He tried hard to recall what auspicious day it was for her to appear in the palace. Second Miss Zhao. He was stunned when he learned she was about to become another man's wife. The selection? Second Miss Zhao. Why are you in the line of candidates? I distinctly remember someone saying they didn't like entering the palace to enjoy wealth and glory. Yet here you are, mingling in the emperor's harem. He was sullen, blaming her for being too heartless, saying she was deeply in love with him, yet secretly abandoning him to become the emperor's concubine. Second Miss Zhao, you're not being honest. First, you say you like me, then you turn around and join the selection. Could it be that you despise me, the Grand Commandant, for being an anomaly? His words startled both her and all the girls behind her. I knew it. They were astonished that she had such a powerful backer, while she was actually embarrassed that he would say something so sensitive in public. Simply put, she didn't like ambiguous relationships. He neither intended to pursue her nor explicitly rejected her. So how could he blame her for participating in the selection? Grand Commandant Zhuang, could it be that you are willing to marry this humble girl? Fisk, you're as difficult as I am. The moment you open your mouth, it's a lifetime commitment. You really know how to put me in a tough spot. Oomph, such a sharp tongue. He looked at the long road ahead and felt a pang of sympathy for her possibly tired feet. Second Miss Zhao, you're used to being pampered. The road to Chiwu Palace might be a bit far. All right, the Grand Commandant happens to be at the palace gate. I'll have someone escort you, miss, to save your feet from aching. So handsome and considerate. Even with a broken arm, he's worth 10 lovers. A Grand Commandant whose power even surpasses the Son of Heaven. Yet for a girl, he was willing to give up his own seat. I don't mind giving you this position, but in return, you must play this part with me and stand against the current emperor. If you wish to deal with that person alongside me, then don't keep this chief steward waiting any longer. It would be disrespectful of me to refuse. Thank you, Chief Steward Zhuang. Her plan to join forces with him was already halfway to success. She had 150% of his favor, and the rest could be dealt with later. It seems Chief Steward Zhuang genuinely wants to cooperate with me. He had seen too many pretentious and delicate women, but a straightforward woman like her was a first for him. No pretense. I like it. We shall meet again. Since you dare to make a promise to me, there is no need for excess pleasantries or words between us. Nanny Li only dared to breathe a sigh of relief after the chief steward had left. Let's continue on our way. No. Instead of walking to lose weight, I'd rather have a comfortable ride in the sedan chair this kind chief steward left behind. Zhuang Li's actions might give Emperor Ming a sleepless night, but I'll be much more comfortable. Great minds think alike, and things are just different. Both sides benefit, and no one loses out. Nanny was scared to death watching you heed that eunuch Zhuang's words so recklessly. Noble Lady Zhao, there are rules in the palace. Please follow this servant on foot. His word is his bond. Now that he has spoken, how can I go back on it? Nanny Li, why didn't you refute eunuch Zhuang just now? I'm over 30, and I've never been rendered speechless by a young girl who just entered the palace. She's using palace etiquette to lecture you, to make you mindful of your status upon entering this place. Noble Lady Zhao, this is the Imperial Palace. Before your rank is determined, you're just a young girl like everyone else here. Nanny Li, I'm no ignorant young girl. Don't try to scare me with these rules. Even the prominent figures in the palace dare not say half a word of defiance to Chief Steward Zhuang. What can a young girl who has just set foot in the Forbidden City do? You don't dare to offend eunuch Zhuang, and neither do I. If you can convince eunuch Zhuang, I will naturally get down and walk. She feigned dismay at being granted such a favor by eunuch Zhuang. To be honest, sitting in this seat is like sitting on pins and needles. Though her words were a bluff, full of complaints, sitting here felt damn good. How about it, Nanny Li? Help me out, and that way you won't have to bear the crime of disrespecting palace rules either. She looked at her smiling face, but was helpless. You asked for this, so don't blame this servant for not reminding you. Nanny, you talk too much. I just hope to finish learning the rules quickly, so I can go home. Oh, can we go now? The sun is so strong. The teacher likes to drag out the lesson, but the student is not happy about it. The nanny couldn't find the words to refute her. Let's go. The large procession moved forward, with you as the sole, maverick exception, riding in a sedan chair, while everyone else had to walk on their own 2 feet. In this 40 degrees Celsius weather, who wouldn't be drenched in sweat, sitting in this seat that no one else could? I finally understand the feeling of holding supreme power. I suddenly understand Zhuang Li's arrogant personality a little. Of course, you have to make yourself comfortable with power that was so hard to obtain. The selection candidates following behind were all curious Why everyone was walking while you alone enjoyed the special treatment of riding in a sedan chair and looking so happy about it. Who is that person? What gives her the right to ride in a sedan chair? The candidate's jealousy began to surface. Han Dishu, daughter of the Minister of Justice, felt displeased with her and spoke mockingly of the weak daughter of a general who only knows how to cling to a eunuch. The legitimate daughter of the Grand Tutor, born into a prestigious family, yet timid as a mouse, relying on flattering a eunuch to get ahead. What a pity. As soon as this woman spoke, the group of women behind her burst into laughter. What a pity for Grand Tutor Zhao's heroic spirit and the Shao family's legacy of martyrs, only to be shamed by her. So there are people like that. How shameful. Birds of a feather flock together, a nest of vipers. Don't you know how sharp a woman's tongue can be? Miss Han, are you tired from walking? Dishu thought you were mocking her with that question and showed a look of displeasure. What do you mean by that? The young girl looked up and glared, despising this spoiled young lady who couldn't even walk properly, yet came back to show off the people. As the only one permitted to ride in Chief Steward Zhuang's sedan chair, it was natural to attract the jealousy of other women. But she didn't care about this petty jealousy. On the contrary, she wanted to provoke them further. The fun was endless. If Miss Han isn't tired yet, I'll ask her again later. I need to find a way to unleash my dazzling aura and overwhelm them. I must maintain the determination I had when I walked into the palace to declare my sovereignty. Let's go. After dealing with these women, there's no need to waste time arguing here. She turned around and ordered the guards to lift the sedan chair and leave immediately. Let's go. The scene shifts from one palace to another. The scorching midday sun beat down mercilessly on the earth. With a fan to shield her from the sun, she didn't feel the heat, but those gossipy girls from earlier were probably not having a good time now. Miss Han, are you tired? I'm so bored sitting here all by myself. I'm getting tired of it. What a petty person. This young lady's face was covered in sweat, but the look of disgust on her face remained unwavering. Miss Han didn't answer me. She must not be tired. I'll ask her again later. Zhao Yuanqing wanted to test how long this girl could maintain her tough attitude. Let's see if she dares to walk this long palace road just to mock others for being weak and lacking a warrior's spirit. One palace gate after another was quickly left behind. No matter how good their physique, walking this much was still too strenuous for women. The girls were all dizzy and no longer as energetic as they were at the beginning. Miss Han, are you tired? Asking right when someone is exhausted. She's truly the second most wicked person in the world. Unsurprisingly, the girl who was so confident just moments ago, claiming she could handle anything, had now succumbed to the hardship. Shut up. I'm tired. I'm tired. Are you satisfied now? If you're tired, I can invite you up to sit with me. Why be so fierce? There's still an empty spot here. Want to sit? A look of longing and unease flickered in her eyes as she looked at this opportunity that could bring relief to her aching feet. With such a benefactor extending a helping hand, how could she not be tempted to step forward? Who said you could? I was just asking. How could I give my beloved possession to someone else? Oh, I forgot this was a gift from Chief Steward Zhuang. I can't just give it to you. Miss Han, please continue walking. When it comes to toying with people's hearts, no one can beat you. A life of passing encounters, leaving behind only hatred and bitterness. Your sorrow is my joy. Being played for the first time, Miss Han's face turned purple with anger. She sneered at this hypocritical girl who only knew how to reprimand others with dogma. It seems she's truly angry this time. Consider it a light punishment for her baseless accusations. That chief steward looks down on everyone, but she admired his ability to drive people mad with words. She must ask him for the secret to mastering such profound verbal sparring skills. No wonder Zhuang Li enjoys teasing people. Although it easily attracts hatred, it's actually quite fun. She needed to learn more about this from Zhuang Li. In the blink of an eye, they arrived at Shishu Palace, the place where the most beautiful and well-connected flowers were chosen for the monarch's garden. There were 78 candidates in this selection. Zhao Yuanqing had the best family background, so she was assigned a separate room. The general's daughter gets extra points upon entry and enjoys the privilege of a single dormitory without having to worry about who to live with or how many people there would be. The other candidates drew lots to decide, sharing rooms of 2 or 4. The crowd dispersed, each returning to their rooms to unpack. The sunset scene from the Imperial Palace was indeed different, carrying a hint of homesickness and the warmth of dusk. As twilight fell, the nannies reminded the candidates to go to Tiana Hall to collect their food boxes. After Yuanqing arrived, she began to choose from the rows of food boxes. This picky noble lady had finally chosen one, only to have it snatched away by another girl. Which troublesome person was here to bother her now? Noble Lady Zhao, I took this food box first. You can choose another one. The eldest daughter of the Shuai family, Shuai Ningyi, arrogantly held up the food box, telling her to give it up. This family had a previous grudge with Chief Steward Zhuang, so they hated him. She knew that if she followed Zhuang Li, she would sooner or later become an enemy of the opposing family. The Shuai family was originally on Emperor Mingan's side. Now that she had proactively sided with Zhuang Li and distanced herself from Emperor Mingan, it meant the Shuai family would not like her. She expected Shuai Ningyi to cause trouble, but not this soon. She was kind of hard, but her words were unforgiving. Even if she were to yield, she had to say a few words to poke at this young girl's pride for her own amusement. It's all right. That's just how Miss Shuai is, always thinking other people's things are better. This hit her right where it hurt. Not bothering to deal with this young lady any longer, it was more important to fill her rumbling stomach first. She had already snatched someone's thing, yet she was still insatiably greedy. Oh, I want this food box. Since you love collecting food boxes so much, I'll give you a chance to be written off for real. She stuck out her foot and tripped her, making her fall flat on her face, falling headfirst onto the table. This was a grand gesture she dared not and could not accept. Why fight with me over a box of food? Miss Shuai is too polite. I merely yielded a food box. There's no need for such a grand bow. Ningyi, are you all right? Seeing her hit her head on the table, everyone rushed forward to help her up. First I provoked someone who holds grudges, and now I'm blaming others. It's my fault. Zhao Yuanqing, you dare trip me. The two young ladies were horrified when they saw the dark red wound on her forehead. Ningyi, your head. What's wrong with my head? In her fury, she hadn't even felt the pain of the wound that was bleeding so much. It wasn't until she saw her hands full of blood that she panicked. Blood. I'm bleeding. Call the imperial physician. More than losing her life, she was afraid of losing her beauty. In this palace, without beauty, it was hard to survive for even a second. If my face is ruined, it's all over. The two helped the injured person leave. What a ridiculous scene. Let's go. We'll ask the nanny to find an imperial physician. She had avoided one trouble, but the vicious gossip from the women behind her never stopped. It seems this second Miss Zhao is no pushover. We should stay away from her. Yeah, people who ask for trouble deserve it. They shot her a disdainful look and turned to leave. In this era, a woman who isn't gentle is considered defective, unworthy of being a woman. Let's go quickly. It's safer back in the room. Only she was left, carrying her meal back to her room alone. Miss Zhao. Suddenly, a warm hand gently tapped her on the shoulder. The voice lacked the sharp, biting tone she was used to hearing. What sad story was it this time? A girl dressed in fiery red, like a burning charcoal fire, approached her enthusiastically. She was Yun Wei, daughter of General Yun. Her face was brighter than the 39-degree summer sun, and her attire was both elegant and bold, exuding a healthy beauty. Hello. She had a good feeling about this girl, but was still a stranger, so she asked for her name to confirm. You are. My name is Yun Wei. Miss Zhao, can I be your friend? A small hand reached out, as if for a handshake to seal their friendship. Make friends? For so long, she had only been surrounded by vipers waiting for a chance to bite her. To now have the fortune of someone wanting to be her dear friend was a rare thing indeed. The girl in red praised Zhao Yuanqing's straightforward and sincere character, which was very much in the style of a general's family. Yes, I just like your personality. I saw everything. It was clearly Shuai Ningyi who started the trouble. She got what she deserved. I thought all the girls from the capital were like them, but I didn't expect Miss Zhao to be like this. It's rare to hear a compliment. I should listen to a few more. Like what? Since you asked, I'll be direct. For someone like Yun Wei who lived in a harsh place, a strong, brave, and straightforward woman was the charm of a frontier girl. The city girls can't compare to even a fraction of the girls from the frontier. Their pretentious act is so annoying. If you like something, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Han Dishu is not like that at all, yet she always puts on that arrogant attitude of hers. And that Shuai Ningyi, snatching things everywhere for no reason. Does she really think everyone has to indulge her? You really know how to roast the capital's ladies, but I really enjoy chatting with someone with such a fresh perspective. Are all the girls from the frontier like you? You know I'm from the frontier? A flicker of unconcealable joy crossed her face. Even far from home, someone could recognize where I came from. The selection roster requires everyone to write their full name. I've seen it, of course, so I know about your unique background. The Yun family, not from the capital. I remember there was a general named Yun under Chi Wei's command. This time, General Yun's daughter is also on the list. That's me. She couldn't stop smiling. I'm so happy that someone recognized me right away. Miss Zhao, you're so smart. Since we're friends, there's no need to be formal. Calling each other by our most intimate names is enough to show our deep affection. We hit it off right away, even though we just met. Didn't you want to be friends with me? Just call me Yuanqing. All right, Yuanqing. She shouted her name loudly without hesitation. Since we're going to be best friends, I also want to eat in your room to deepen our sisterly bond. This request is a bit much, but I'm afraid you'll be sad if I refuse. About that, being in a foreign land, I feel a bit lonely and lost in this crowded place. My luck was bad. I was assigned to a 4-person room. I don't know anyone anyway, so I don't feel very comfortable. Seeing her on the verge of tears, she finally softened and couldn't bear to refuse now. This person genuinely wanted to befriend me. She was the first one who didn't hate my domineering personality, so I opened up a little to this kind person. I think I understand. Making friends was the pretense. Sneaking into my room was the real goal. Anyway, she doesn't have any bad intentions, so I'll just treat it as having someone to talk to. Let's go. She extended her hand, and the other person took it. Let's become sworn sisters right here. All right. Her smile was brighter than the sun, as if spring had returned to the heart of a young girl who had found a kindred spirit. As night fell, the two girls walked side by side, talking and laughing like old friends. Back in a room, they shared their food with each other. She just sat quietly, listening to her friend recount the interesting stories of her life. Yin Wei bore no ill will toward Zhao Yuanqing. She was just a bit of a chatterbox. She heard a lot from her, with everything from heaven to earth being a source of amusement. With good food, the room was filled with laughter. Yin Wei spoke happily, and Zhao Yuanqing listened to pass the time. The two got along extremely well. All good things must come to an end. Nanny Li pushed open the door, breaking the atmosphere. Her gaze foretold what was about to happen to her. The expression on the palace maid's face was extremely grim, and with 2 guards following behind her, it was definitely not good news. Miss Zhao, Miss Shuai is injured and says it's related to you. Please come with this old servant. She cleared her throat, ordering her around as if she were her own daughter, no longer showing her any respect. This frontier girl had a fiery personality and a clear sense of right and wrong, standing up for her friend. It was clearly Shuai Ningyi who started the trouble. You may be old, but your eyes can't be so blind as to shield the wicked. She ignored this girl from the frontier, only obeying the orders of the person who told her to bring the party in for judgment. Miss Yin, this is the Imperial Palace. There are people to judge right and wrong. I hope Miss Yin will be careful with her words. People from the frontier are straightforward. They say what they think, unlike the people in the palace who beat around the bush and like to use innuendos. Shuai Ningyi deliberately picked a fight and then framed me. Why don't you tell her to be careful with her words? I can't stand the absurd, twisted logic of this palace, so I had to vent on this old hag. What? You look down on me for being from the frontier. Your naive words made Zhao Yuanqing chuckle. It's good for friends to help each other in times of trouble, but I dare not drag a friend into the trouble I've caused. It's all right. I know what I'm doing. It's getting late. You should go back and rest. You can tell me the rest of the story over a meal tomorrow. But you can't just watch your friends suffer such an injustice. Yuanqing, I'll handle my own affairs. One who is upright does not fear a crooked shadow. You're not afraid of being framed. Nanny Li, let's go. The silence of the night guided the group as they stepped lightly through another palace gate. She pushed open the door, met by contemptuous gazes and vipers that only knew how to bite. 3 head nannies and a young lady sat upright, bandaging the wound on her forehead. The young lady was used to ordering people around. When she wasn't satisfied, she blamed the person taking care of her. Tighter. Do you even know what you're doing? The young lady's injury is not serious. It will heal in a few days. There's really no need. Shut up and do as I say. Her curses were too harsh to hear. Once everyone had arrived, Nanny Zhang began her accusation. Miss Zhao, Miss Shuai accuses you of intentionally causing her injury. Do you plead guilty? With the title of the Emperor's wet nurse, she was truly imposing, always looking at the sky when speaking to people. I do not plead guilty. Don't think the title of a general's daughter is for nothing. This righteousness is real. Who is right and who is wrong, I know in my heart, but I will never plead guilty. Miss Shuai insists it was you, scolding you for daring to act but not to admit it. It was clearly you who stuck out your foot to trip me. Everyone saw it at the time. Zhao Yuanqing, do you dare deny it? Then what about Miss Shuai snatching the food box? She started the trouble first. How could she be so cowardly as to cause trouble and then deny the facts? Caught red-handed, she immediately changed the subject. Who snatched yours? We both had our eyes on the same food box. I was just a step faster. If you dare say it like that, then I'll say it like this. I had just been standing for a long time and was stretching my leg. Who knew that Miss Shuai, who had already gotten a food box, would suddenly want to step forward for another one and happen to step right in front of my foot? Even the most sophisticated sophistry can't get past you. Miss Shuai, you fell, and my foot still hurts now. Show us your leg, lest you make a false accusation and others think it's true. Unable to win the argument, she could only say one thing. You're twisting words and forcing logic. Then what does Nanny Zhang think? Right and wrong are so easily reversed. How could the people in the palace not see through it? 3 nannies, may I ask, since Miss Shuai had already gotten her food box. How could I have expected her to step forward? If she hadn't come closer, who could I have tripped? These experienced palace veterans were stumped by this young girl's question. As a general's daughter, it's natural to stretch one's muscles and bones. This was just a coincidence. Nannies, you see, I didn't trip anyone. I just wanted to stretch my muscles and bones. The nanny slammed her palm heavily on the chair, cutting her off. What a sharp tongue. She couldn't stand daughters entering the palace who still retained a strong masculine air, without a trace of feminine meekness. Noble Lady Zhao, now that you have entered the palace walls, you should understand your status, know how to restrain yourself, and be careful with your words and actions. Is this what the Zhao family's rules taught you? To frame another young lady and argue so cunningly. The court's logic is always so boring, only knowing how to use rights to trample on women, forcing them to kneel in submission. She really couldn't stand this palace philosophy of raising people. Zhao Yuanqing, bearing the title of a noble lady, had memorized the rights since childhood and thus did not need so many irrelevant people meddling in palace affairs. The Zhao family's rules are none of the nanny's business. But since the emperor and empress dowager have entrusted the selection of consorts to the nannies, you should at least ensure basic fairness. Her footsteps grew closer, scrutinizing each person one by one. This powerful aura forced Nanny Zhang to shut her mouth and look up in alarm. I'm curious, are you unable to distinguish right from wrong, or are you intentionally covering for her? As the daughter of a military official, I will not yield to unreasonable demands. Even in adversity, I will not show weakness. Though I am but a humble, noble lady, I cannot remain silent in the face of injustice. I must seek justice for myself. You, the nanny, was choked up, unable to speak. Not a single word could be uttered. It's getting late. I asked the 3 nannies to make a decision. After all this talk, you should have figured it out. I don't want to stand here arguing with Miss Shuai and the several head nannies. Her words hit the 2 nannies like cannonballs. They knew they were no match for her. The nannies had already weighed the pros and cons in their hearts. This matter was actually simple. Shuai provoked. Zhao Yuanqing retaliated. According to the rules, both should be punished. But both these young ladies came from extraordinary backgrounds. If either one was touched, the family behind her would never let the matter rest, and things would surely escalate. They had to consider this carefully. If they only punished Zhao Yuanqing, her family would not stand for it. If they punished both, they had to consider the reputations of the 2 young ladies. They quickly reached an agreement. One matron wanted to smooth things over and not make a big deal out of it, suggesting the matter was just a misunderstanding. The other agreed with this view, also wanting the 2 to drop the matter and make peace. Yes, both young ladies are from prestigious families. They certainly wouldn't do anything against the rules. I still had my doubts, but now it seems it was just a misunderstanding. Only the hot-tempered matron Zheng insisted on getting to the bottom of it, refusing to let it go. How could it be a misunderstanding? It was clearly Zhao Yuanqing who framed the other young lady. Matron Zheng, please watch your words. She sneered inwardly. Like master, like servant. The emperor was a mediocrity, and the wet nurse who raised him was just as foolish. Emperor Mingyan was not favored in his youth, and the wet nurse by his side was no clever person. Her first instinct was always to throw a tantrum, yet she had somehow become a head matron. In the palace, the minority ultimately yields to the majority. With two of the three in agreement, the matter was settled. No one would make things difficult for anyone. Young ladies, it's getting late. Please hurry back and rest. You will begin learning the rules tomorrow. Shui Junyang. If you're feeling unwell, you may wake up later tomorrow. Resolving this amicably is better than coming to blows, isn't it? In that case, this young lady will take her leave. That night, the two enemies had to leave hand in hand. Inside, you were as quiet as a mouse, but the moment you're out, you're back to running your mouth. Zhao Yuanqing, I will not let today's matter rest so easily. Oh, such big words, almost overshadowing this young lady's heroic spirit. What are you going to do about it? Challenge this young lady to a duel? All you can do is stomp your feet in anger. Ah, you're making me so mad. She paid her no mind at all, as she didn't want to look for trouble. Since she had been reborn, she was going to live as she pleased. She ignored all those who came to bother her and lecture her with rules. She was no longer the docile young lady from her past life who only knew how to live by the book. In this life, she wanted to live comfortably. The young lady had caused quite a stir, and word had already reached the ears of Zhuang Li. News of the incident at Chiwu Palace spread quickly. Just as Emperor Mingyan heard the news, the Director General of the West Chamber, Zhuang Li, also suddenly heard about it. At that moment, he was leisurely eating fruit to soothe his throat, preparing to let loose a string of curses. This Director General dressed respectably when he went out, but the moment he returned to his own palace, he became as flamboyant as he pleased, casually gossiping about others as usual. I've never heard of a daughter from the Zhao family having such a temperament. I thought she knew how to follow the rules. This personality, I actually like it. This girl is truly interesting. I have a very good impression of her. His apprentice didn't grasp his master's meaning, thinking the East Chamber was about to get a mistress, and was eager to take over his master's position. Your Grace, would you like to reconsider? He was calculating whose salary to dock this month. Forget it, that slow-witted follower. I was just teasing a beauty on a whim. I haven't thought about building a harem yet. However, for a girl I've taken a liking to be bullied, it must be because I haven't shown enough of my might. Who in this palace doesn't know that Zhao Yuanqing is under my protection? It seems the last lesson wasn't enough. Chen Mo didn't understand when the concept of enough of a lesson had become so twisted. Not enough. The 10th princess is still so scared she's hiding in her room, afraid to come out. That wet nurse was caned, and her rear is still stuck to the bed. It's not that it wasn't enough, it's that some people haven't learned their lesson. My follower is still lost in a hazy memory, while I have to worry about her. And Shang, the one and only Shang, always closest to Zhuang Li, ready at a moment's notice. This servant is here. What are your orders, master? Since I've taken on a new favorite, I must protect her to the end. The grievances you suffered today, I will secretly avenge for you. Go and find out which wet nurse the Bureau of Ceremonial Affairs sent to Qingju Palace and deal with her properly. It makes no sense for someone to be fine outside the palace, only to dare bully people on my turf. He's practically treating this place like his own home. Dressed flamboyantly, collarbone exposed, eating grapes. Who could stand such arrogance? This is the Imperial Palace. Lord Zhuang, aren't you being a bit too presumptuous? One must live happily and comfortably. Do you understand? Affection can only grow from being doted on. I will use all my power just to let that woman live as if she were in her own home. The personal eunuch was speechless. This servant understands. I will go and pass on the order now. It's not over. I'm also going to set up camp here, so I can explore every nook and cranny. Oh, and the living quarters in the palace. Tell them to clean it up. This Director General is moving into the palace tomorrow. Yes, the two eunuchs were stunned. Lord Zhuang is moving into the palace. Something big is definitely about to happen. The next day, before the sky was even light, 3 people were already waiting outside the door. Miss Zhao, this servant is here to deliver breakfast. Breakfast? The roosters haven't even crowed yet. What is there to eat at this hour? The 3 imperial chefs enthusiastically invited her to enjoy the dishes they had prepared, letting her pick whatever she liked, as if it were a buffet. Yes, this servant did not know what Miss likes to eat, so I prepared many dishes. Please see if there is anything you like. If not, please tell us, and this servant will prepare different ones for you tomorrow. To receive such good treatment while living in the palace, it must be thanks to a certain noble person named Zhuang. Did Zhuang Li send you? Yes, Lord Zhuang said to let Miss Li feel as comfortable as she would in her own home. The man repeated his words verbatim without hesitation. Like in my own home, she felt he was going too far, saying that being in the palace was like being at home. Eat if you want, don't eat if you don't, and if you cause trouble, he'll handle it. Am I in Chiwu Palace or the East Chamber? This level of favor probably surpasses even that of the imperial noble consort. She was speechless at his arrogant attitude. This master and servant pair had no regard for anyone, always making big moves that made their superiors lose their appetite. Ha! Zhuang Li dared to say it, and the little eunuch dared to repeat it. In their eyes, did Emperor Mingyan even exist? A dear sister poked her head out to see what was for breakfast today. Yuanqing, what are you doing? Someone brought you breakfast. It was precisely because of the favor he showed her that the other palace ladies looked at her with envious eyes. Wow, what a lavish breakfast. I wish my dad could send me a breakfast like this too. She turned back, took her sister's hands, and invited them to a party. Yes, let's eat together. The group followed her into the room. Miss Xiao and Miss Ya were so angry their chests felt tight, and they could only swallow their jealousy of the favor she received. Zhao Yuanqing, on what grounds are you favored everywhere you go? Just you wait, I will not let you continue being so arrogant. A table of sumptuous dishes was laid out, waiting for the masters of each room. Yin Wei didn't wait for an invitation, grabbing a piece of pastry and starting to eat, praising the quality of the gift sent by her husband. This is delicious. Yuanqing, who sent this? Was it the person in the sedan chair yesterday? It was him. Being praised about her man made her shy, and she pretended to sip tea to cool down. Men are visual creatures, and women are auditory creatures. Others had spoken so poorly of his character, she was afraid her friend had fallen for a scoundrel. I asked around yesterday. He's Director Lord Zhuang of the East Chamber. A lot of people speak ill of him, but you are different. You saw a whole new world in him, not the hell others described. He's indeed not a good person, but he hasn't done anything heinous. That girl knew he was a good person just from the food he sent. I don't know if he's good or not. I just know that thanks to him, I get to eat well. Yes, with a foodie like you, what do you know about good or bad? Time flew past breakfast, and the ladies of the harem had to go to Chiwu Palace to learn the rules and display their talents. The matron lined them up and began to instruct them slowly. Young ladies, the first thing to do upon entering the palace is to learn how to bow. Annie Wong said to the group with a stern face, etiquette is the most important thing for survival in the palace. No matter what you learned at home, once you enter the palace, you must learn the palace rules. Follow me. A lecture so early in the morning was so boring. She wanted to lay out a mattress and lie down, having no energy to stand and listen. Suddenly, the matron turned around and said to her kindly, "Young Lady Zhao, your etiquette is already very good. It doesn't matter if you learn or not. If you're tired, take a rest, or just watch for fun. The top student in the exam doesn't need much lecturing from the teacher." Could this also be Zhuang Li's order? To let me be as comfortable as in my own home? The pressure of school is too much. With that guy around, I've already tried my best to hide my abilities, but they still keep making me show off. Since she had a chance to escape the lecture, she accepted. Thank you, Andy. My wet nurse also came from the palace, so I indeed don't need to learn. The matron's favoritism towards the students sparked whispers among the other girls. Who is that? Don't you know? She came to Chiwu Palace in a sedan chair. It's rumored she has an ambiguous relationship with the director of the East Chamber. We should keep our distance from her. Yin Wei couldn't stand hearing such nasty things about her friend and decided to step up and argue. You people, it's a good thing I stopped my friend from doing something foolish. Ignore them. Shuai Junyang was not convinced. Why does she get to sit and drink tea while we have to toil away learning the rules? Annie, we are all harem candidates. Why doesn't she have to learn? She had seen plenty of this kind of jealousy among women in the Forbidden City. It was not at all strange for someone to be jealous of another's favor. Are you telling me how to do my job? I'm just asking for Annie's guidance. How could someone from outside the palace know the affairs of the court like an old hand like her? If a young person wants to enter this treacherous place, they must learn to bow their head, or else climb to a higher position before deciding for others. I have lived in the palace for decades and know how to teach harem candidates. If you're not convinced, wait until you become the phoenix who manages the harem. Then it will be your turn to decide how I teach. The matron was halfway through her speech But the young girls didn't understand. Stupidity is contagious. One who didn't understand became two, and they even started arguing with the teacher. The Bureau of Ceremonial Affairs values rules. Is this how Annie teaches the rules? You can't even be fundamentally fair. What right do you have to teach us? Are you teaching us to flatter the powerful and trample on the weak? Flatter the powerful and trample on the weak. Isn't that obvious in the Forbidden City? Who in the palace hasn't tried to curry favor with someone? To survive, you dare to speak such nonsense. The venerable matron would not allow anyone to speak so offensively. She slapped Shuai Junyang across the face, punishing her for saying what she shouldn't have. The young girl clutched her face and retorted in pain, "My father is the minister of personnel, and her aunt is a noble consort. You dare to hit me?" What did she have to fear from a girl who didn't even have a title in the palace? How could she dare to be disrespectful? Yuanqing stood aside, watching the poor student being bullied by the teacher, feeling as if it were her annoying sister, Zhao Sulan, at home. Shuai Junyang's reaction was exactly the same as Zhao Sulan's. Why did they think everyone had to play along with their act? Injustice is everywhere in this world. Before learning etiquette, one must first learn how to be a person. If you don't straighten out your character from the start, life will surely hit you hard. I am a matron, and you are a harem candidate. I don't care what your background is. You will put away your temper, or this slap will not be the last. The girl thought that having a high-ranking official in her family meant she could throw her weight around. Aren't you afraid I'll report you to the noble consort? What a shallow thought. She despised women like this who only knew how to cling to their families and demand to be treated with utmost sincerity by others. I don't care if you report me or not, but if you want to see the emperor, you have to pass my assessment. If you think my teaching is poor, I can have you sent out of the palace right now. A few threats were enough to scare her out of her wits. No, if I get kicked out of the palace now, I'll miss the upcoming selection. Even if my aunt is a noble consort, she won't be able to pull strings for me. A moment of impulse could lead to a lifetime of eating dirt. Ningyi thanked the auntie for her guidance. Learning humility was a good start for the lessons to come. It's good that this young lady understands. She turned and left after saying this, hoping you truly understood. In a flash, the lesson was over. The candidates, exhausted from the intense training, returned to their palaces to rest. I, on the other hand, strolled with Miss Yun, chatting to relieve our boredom. What an arrogant little brat. Her foul mouth ruined the peaceful atmosphere. Girl, I'm not falling for that. Not only that, she was also mocking people behind their backs. Some clueless fools think they're holding a golden nugget, but it turns out to be just a slave. Zhao Jinyang, I wasn't talking about you. Don't overthink it. Look at that fake innocent act, pretending she never gossips about others. Such a phony. If someone insults me, I'll insult them back. Who's afraid of whom? The opening shot of the first war of words had been fired. Miss Xiao dragged your reputation through the mud, like a country bumpkin dreaming of latching onto a dragon. I am indeed tacky and pretentious, unlike the noble and lofty Lady Shuai Jiyun, who is as proud as frost. We could never learn to be like that. She sneered at this woman who dreamed of climbing to a high branch, wondering if she could stand firm or she would fall and be shattered. Yes, you certainly can't learn it. Not everyone wants to climb that cloud-climbing ladder, and not everyone can catch its eye. For example, Shuai Junyang, I don't think she has what it takes. We'll have to see if that cloud-climbing ladder is real or fake. She was waiting for you to understand that you were just deluding yourself, thinking the glory bestowed upon you is real. Lady Shuai Jiyun, you must choose your cloud-climbing ladder carefully, or you will lose everything. A top scholar really argues differently, every word a pearl. The opponent didn't know what to say other than to agree. That's what I wanted to advise Shuai Junyang as well. She gently patted her head to see if she had a fever and warmly reminded her that while God created earthquakes, her head was the highlight. I'm not like Shuai Junyang, who injured her head right after entering the palace and was scolded by the matron. You better take good care of that head of yours. If you fall and become a fool, I'll have to take responsibility. That Shuai Junyang didn't understand those profound words and insisted on plotting revenge in the future. Don't be so smug. I still have plenty of ways to deal with you. Alas, you don't even consider your own strength. When you can't win with words, you resort to violence. You've already been slapped by Annie Wang. Does Shuai Junyang want to see if someone else's slap feels the same? I haven't even raised my hand to hit you, and you're already crying out. Ah, Schweiningi, this is your last warning. If you dare to provoke me again, I won't just stand here and argue with you. I mean what I say. This is not a threat. Unable to win, she mocked Yun Wei's status, saying that marrying a man who had lost his roots meant her life was wasted on a dog. Zhao Yuanqing, you're only acting this way because you have Zhuang Li backing you. But he's a eunuch. He can't marry you, and he can't do anything to you. In the future, I will be a noble consort. No matter who you marry, your status will never be higher than mine. Provoking that well-known figure would be trouble. Oh, Shui Junyang is so proud. A voice rang out, attracting the attention of everyone in the palace. The East Chamber's Director General's one and only in Shang made a cool entrance like a god from heaven, here to hear who had the guts to speak ill of his master. He approached, his expression menacing, wanted to hear what disrespectful words this Shui Junyang was saying about his Director General. This servant just heard you mention Lord Zhuang's name. I wonder if you feel there is something wrong with Lord Zhuang? Next to a god of death, any words are futile. Yuanqing just wanted to see how the one and only by his side would handle this matter. Oh, eunuch and Shang of the East Chamber. I wonder how he will deal with Schweiningi. The people around him are certainly not simple.